I realized I'm neglecting my kids. My heart knows that Jesus gave me these children, and here I am pushing them off on everyone else to raise, and that's not their job, and they don't deserve that. I didn't want the generational sin to continue.
But no, we want to do a lot of like, I think I'll do 2 episodes a week, one with an interview and the other one where we'll do just Ask Landon anything.
Oh, yeah.
We do like a 15, 20-minute little blurb there.
Yeah.
I have so many ideas. One of my other ideas is I want to just like read the Bible every day on camera and react to it with like, just with another person. So just read it and not like try to teach it or explain it, but just like read it and give my initial reactions to it 10, 15 minutes as a way to keep me in the word. And then that might be, I know I'm like on YouTube every morning, just learning something. That could be something great for maybe people like me who do that. And then another thing I want to do, I have so many ideas, is I'd like to do, have you ever watched Dirty Jobs with like Mike Rowe?
Yes.
I want to do something like that where like I go to Nicole's coffee shop and we do like a little interview, but we also make coffee and we do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to do Cooking with Karen out at the Corner Post General Store. You know what I'm talking about? Out there on W.
That's fun, yeah.
I want to like cook with her. So I want to do some on-site stuff, but it's a lot. This is a lot of work. It's a lot of equipment and then time.
Just so you guys know, you are live and officially.
We are live.
Let me,
Dose up.
I just ran out of breath, so.
Yeah,
So
that
we're
sounds
good?
cool.
And
Okay.
we're focused in, yeah?
As far as I checked, yes.
Okay, so we're focused in, we're locked in, all right.
This time I don't have you guys on the TV, so I can't see it all, but
Oh, because you're doing the
4K, yeah.
Sweet.
Which, if I had another source of...
So you won't edit live on this one either.
No, but that's okay, because
That's okay.
AI has features now that'll...
Nice. We can talk about AI today, too.
Yeah, I heard something about AI where the professors are using AI to grade students' work. And I'm like, wait. Let me get this right. So the students are using AI to write the work. Professors are using it to grade the work. So my doctor doesn't know anything. That's what I'm concerned about.
Everyone just got subsequently dumber.
I know, right? I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that, Amanda Brand, welcome to my show.
I'm so excited to be here.
It's only titled the Landon Ball Podcast because we don't have a name for it, but I thought about calling it the I Don't Know Podcast. So I don't know. We'll talk about whatever we want to talk
Sounds
about
good.
today. But I've known you. It's kind of weird. I was thinking about the history where, when did you launch Paisley BowTique?
2013.
Okay. I had that. You're right, because that's the year I graduated high school.
Oh,
So I graduated high school, and then, you go to college, so you're just not connected to anybody because it's all about you, and your prefrontal cortex isn't there. And then after college, I left for Minnesota. So like I was not here for most of your business run. And then I moved back during COVID. And then, so give us the whole history. Take me back to however far you want to go. We can go family tree. We can go whatever, but start where you want to start.
Let's start with Paisley. So I was actually a teacher, went to CMU, graduated in 2010. Did elementary education, but it was a bachelor in science. Decided to be a 5th grade teacher because that's what Salisbury was hiring at the time. And I loved it. I love 5th graders. They go in as one child and come out as this, I don't really know, preteen puberty thing happens over December. And I love it. I love 5th graders because they're like witty enough to get your silly jokes that you do. And you're like, oh, did I just say that? Did they get it? That kind of thing. So then after that, I went to Fayette for 2 years and taught 5th grade. And in the meantime, I ended up pregnant with Elise, and she was 6 months old when I opened my business or started the business. So we bought the building in March of 2013 and opened in August.
Whose building was it before? Was that?
It was Casey's General Store.
Okay.
Casey's.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this building.
Yeah, please.
We go in. First of all, we drive by over and over, and we keep throwing in a quote that's a complete slap in the face. And I'm like, dude, if we get it, we get it. Great.
Yeah, right.
Didn't think
you got
we
all
would
the
actually
leverage. I
get
don't want
it.
this. Yeah.
Right. So come January, we have this huge snowstorm, and we're shooting back and forth, and I raised my price a little bit, and we got it. And I was like,
Whoops.
Hey, God, here we go. You got this right because I don't. And so Elisa's 6 months old. We start in March. And luckily for me, my husband is a farmer and it rained all of March, all of April. And so I had all of their labor for my husband and his uncle and his dad and my grandpa. And so they worked their butt off on that building. When we went in, there used to be a soda fountain over by when you first walk in, and it was like adhered caked glue of sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
The mice that were up in the ceiling, you would move a tile and it was like poof, little dead mice carcasses all over the place. We went back to the freezer area and there were old adhered biscuits from like 5 years ago from them closing, molded and caked to the floor.
So it sat vacant for a while.
It was disgusting. Yes.
Yeah.
So after that situation, my husband was just like, we will never eat at a Casey's again. It was that bad. But, it had been sitting there vacant for 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So we used it to our advantage to get a relatively good price on the property. But we had to put in a lot of money and time to make it even halfway presentable.
Were there like restrictions on buying an old
Yes.
gas station too?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Talk to me about that.
So we had to go through EPA to make sure there were no active lines. I'm probably not getting that right, but something has to be underneath the ground, and we constantly had to go through EPA for that stuff. I was under a 15-year agreement that I could not sell fuel, snacks, candies, pizza, donuts, anything like that. But do you want to know what's ironic about that? Casey's across the street could start selling flowers, and it was just fine. So, yeah. So we were somewhat of a shackled prisoner to Casey's for a bit, but there was a lady that I talked to, her name was Marnie, and so I'd be like, hey, I want to sell candy bouquets. They are not just a Snickers candy bar.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
a bouquet.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, that's cool,
Yeah.
And so as long
I
as...
think I bought a few of those
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
They
Yeah.
were very popular.
Yep.
I mean, like for Valentine's Day, we would sell like 75. I mean, it was legit. So then Holly Cooper Rhodey went in with me, and she opened up a bakery back there. So it was easier to like put all your chips in when you had somebody else willing to put their chips in too.
Sure.
We're both Scorpios, so I don't know if you guys know anything about a Scorpio.
I don't, but tell me.
We are very A-type personality,
Okay, all right.
and we're never gonna fail because even if we fail, we're gonna figure out how to get out of it.
Okay.
And so we
is Scorpio
did.
like star sign or like the month you were born?
So it's actually, I'm not really like, I think horoscopes kind of like teetering on, is this Christianity or not? And I'm definitely a big hardcore Christian, so I don't read that
Sure.
kind of stuff because I
Yeah.
feel like it influences other things.
Yeah,
and
my
I don't
gut
think
says no. But
it's not good. Like, I don't think it's necessarily good, but I can align with the personality of
Sure.
a Scorpio, which is in the sky, and there's
Okay.
this constellation, and so there's specific factors that I am definitely a Scorpio. I'm a very controlling person.
okay.
Yes, my name is Amanda, and I have a problem with control. We will get to that later. So anyway, all these things.
She walked in today and said, "This is what we're going to talk about, and here's how we're going to go through it." And I was like, "Great," because I have no agenda.
Well, I know. It's really bad. It's
What
really
are all the? Do you know the names of all the
no
characters of the stars?
No, like Sagittarius,
No.
Cancer,
Yeah, I've heard Cancer,
Leo, Pisces. I know I don't get along with Pisces. You know how I figured that
I'm probably
out?
not a Pisces.
No,
then.
I can't hire Pisces to work for me.
Okay, what's similar about the fish species?
They're very chillax and just kind of go with the flow, and like, we're going to do it our way because this is how we are happy to do it. And I'm like, no. It's got to be this way because this is my way.
Yeah.
And
You
so
don't want
this
Pisces to be firefighters, probably.
I don't think
No.
so. No, but see, I only know this because I had worked with probably 50 employees over a decade, and I figured out the ones that I was like, wait, when's your birthday? Is that discrimination? Because my star sign doesn't go with yours. We can't do this.
I think on the hiring rules, I don't think there's any star sign
I
rules
know,
on there.
I know,
So maybe
right?
that's the backwards way you can get in there and be like, I'm not going to ask you your age, but what's your star sign?
Yeah, when were you born?
And if you don't know it, you're probably at least in your 50s.
Yeah.
But
It's so funny. But yeah, so that is how we started. Holly did cakes, cake pops.
and she was allowed to
cupcakes.
do cakes and cake pops.
She was. We got that
Interesting.
approved because they were designer cakes and cake pops, that kind of thing.
So if
But-
you've been doing honey buns, no.
No, donuts, no. Cookies, we couldn't do cookies either. So even if they were like the decorative cookies, they were out. But man, she killed it. And when
Yeah.
I like we were bad girls.
We
I
could do some
paused.
censorship in there if you want,
Okay.
just for fun.
Because what I mean, like we literally worked our butt off.
Yeah.
We worked, so we were both teaching, and then we would come and we would work all night till midnight, getting this place that was a junk hole presentable for people by August. And then we go back to working, and I had a baby. So I was doing all of this. Do you want to know what that did to me? And I didn't even know it. Yeah. So we did this, and Holly stuck with me. I can't even remember. It was like at least 4 years. And then she's like, hey, I got to go. I've like burnt the candle at too many ends and I'm done. And I got it because I quit teaching. She kept teaching. So she was doing both jobs. So yeah, if it wasn't for Holly and both of us putting those chips in, we never would have done this. I never would have had the ability to do it because I wouldn't have believed in myself enough.
Yeah.
But then after I was established, I was like, I got this.
Yeah. Why did you even do it?
Because
Like, what inspired starting
Okay.
the business?
So I was a florist / bucket washer delivery driver at 16. So I
Where?
worked for Christie and Company in Boonville, and I just needed a job. So I walked in, I was like, hey, I just turned 16. Can I work for you? And she was like, yeah, fabulous. You start tomorrow. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So back then we didn't have GPS.
Yep.
So when they said, hey, you got to go out on this backcountry road, turn left, turn right, then you see some grass, I would be out there for like 2-3 hours because I am completely illiterate when it comes to direction. And then I'm pretty sure she was probably like, honey, we got to switch your job because this isn't going to work. Okay. So anyway, then I started dabbling. I'm artistic anyway. And so I started dabbling in just designing flowers. And then I realized that, hey, designing flowers is actually my therapy. This is, I could literally make a whole casket spray in 20 minutes and have no idea what it looked like. Walk away, come back and be like, whoa, that's beautiful,
Wow.
you know? And so I believe that that's my God-given talent.
Yeah. Where did that come from? I mean, were you doing anything like that before 16?
No,
No.
I was a
Cool.
lifeguard.
You just found it. That's great.
Yeah. Like, so, well, and I didn't get to the casket spray in 20 minutes at 16.
Sure,
We're
sure.
looking at more like 21.
But, you
So-
weren't like in a flower field as a kid.
No,
Yeah.
no. My mom somewhat dabbled in like swags and stuff like that with Home Interior, which was like a 90s based company.
Swags.
Swags, you don't know, do you?
I mean, I know what the
So
term
it's like
is. But
dried eucalyptus that
Okay, but yeah, I
smells
don't
like
know
Hobby
that.
Lobby. You know when you walk in Hobby Lobby, it has a specific smell.
I have not walked in there much. but
Okay.
I believe you.
So yeah, my mom did that kind of thing, but no, I had no. It was a God-given talent.
Yeah.
Give me a vase, put me some flowers on a table, and I can make you an art piece. And I don't know how I did it. So I started using that. Okay, so how did we get there? So that's how I got into the industry. And then at 17, I was a senior in high school. She died 5 minutes after dropping me off from setting up a wedding. And it was extremely traumatic for me.
Your mom or
I'm
the
sorry.
boss?
My boss.
Okay.
So my boss was 43. Her name was Christy Tutton. She was amazing. She believed in me, and genuinely she would tell people, she'd be like, this girl's going somewhere. She's great, you know? And so I loved her and I clung to her because to me, I never got along necessarily with people my age. I always got along with older people, which is probably because I was raised by a village and my friends were my uncle's baseball team, you know, stuff like that. So I naturally am drawn to people who are older than me. And I think it's because I thrive off their wisdom and their love and nurture. And so I loved her very much. And she ended up passing away in a car accident, flipped her car 5 minutes after leaving me. And I stuck there for like 2 years. And then finally I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like emotionally, I can't be here. So I left, went up to CMU for school. Well, actually at that time I was at Moberly. I did JUCO and kind of quit, started doing waitressing instead of flowers. And then I came back, started working for Market Street with Stephanie Fimler and went to CMU, met my husband, and the rest is history. And then I threw in the crapshoot and started. So when I was teaching, there was always this like longing of, I love teaching, but I'm a very empathetic person. So it was difficult for me to be in a public school setting where students weren't eating. I would have to sneak them snacks. They weren't getting baths. I knew they were being neglected. I literally wanted to take them all home with me.
Mm.
And I would go home and I would cry every night. And at this time we didn't even have kids. And I was like, Tim, just let me just take them. Like, can I just like call and just bring them home?
So
And
we
he's
shouldn't let you work at an animal shelter.
oh gosh, no, that's no. I'm also very empathetic for animals. So at that time, I was crying a lot, and Tim was like, "Hey, honey, like maybe this just isn't your job, like maybe you don't make anything anyway. Maybe this just isn't your job." And I was like, I think you might be right.
Mm.
So I was pregnant too, and so then I had the baby. We threw the stuff in, and I'm like, hey, let's have a flower shop. And I'd always knew I wanted a flower shop. I thought it'd be something I'd do after all my kids were out of school.
Yep.
And,
Was Market Street Floral then there when you opened
Yep.
yours?
So
Okay.
Market Street was here in town.
And they had 2 locations.
2 locations.
Yep.
At the time that I worked for her in 2007, she had 3.
Oh, wow.
Because someone was in
Where
Marshall
the third
too.
one? Oh, Marshall.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so I think there might have been some controversy because I opened up against my competitor, which my competitor was the person who also helped me get my foot in the door type thing. But then we're all good.
Yeah.
Like now,
Good.
like we talk, we're all good. But I didn't want to start a business that had already been started because, I'm a control freak. And so it had to be my way all from the very bottom.
Yeah.
And so I also love that building. I had parking, all these other things. And it was way cheaper for me to buy that building than to buy an established business. So that was all of our thought process. And it had a bakery area for Holly to put her stuff. So
And did it have a big walk-in cooler at that point?
it
still,
did.
too?
And
Yeah.
so we had to use that cooler. We didn't have to. We used that cooler because we thought it would save us money. So then we had to buy a converter that was shipped in all the way from Texas that cost $10,500. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I left that building, I wanted to take that converter with
I
me.
believe that.
I was
Yeah.
like, maybe I need it. I don't know why. Maybe I need that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then when we started, we opened August 3rd, 2013. It was the art festival in town.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The amount of people that came, you just felt the love. Like you couldn't move in that place. And Holly and I knew we did it. Like we got this. We got this.
Mm.
And so then we started sacrificing everything because we continued to work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And she got burnt out quicker than I did because, like I said, she was working another job. But I was using my business as a way to like feed my emotional trauma. But I didn't even recognize that until after I walked away from the business, because if I was being perfect, who doesn't love perfect?
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And so everybody's going to love me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was being fulfilled. I was perfect because even the most hard-nosed, annoying customer that when they would walk in, I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you. I would still please them
Yeah. Right.
because I had OCD about it.
Was that, so 2013-ish range, 2013 to 16, 17, whatever, is kind of what you're talking about timeline in
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Were you into social media at that point too? Because
No.
I feel like some of that image or perfectionism
Yeah.
management, at least nowadays, comes from trying to maintain an image. But what was it for you?
Yeah, so I was excited that I'm glad you brought this up because I was thinking about this on the way here. So when we started 2013, 2016, we're still running ads in newspapers. So that is where we are. Business was great. You went and you chased business. Business came to you because you went and chased it physically. Like
Yeah.
I literally went to events and socialized with people to tell them about, which was fun. And it was also great, but then also took a lot of time.
Yep.
So I would say 2017, 18, I started Facebook.
Okay.
And I just kind of dabbled in it. And actually, I didn't even want to do it. I don't like media at all because I'm not good at it. And
Well,
so
that's what you think. I mean, I think you do pretty good on your Facebook, I think.
I know. It's like one of those things where I don't have patience.
Sure.
The Lord teaches me patience every day with my 3rd child. That's why
Well,
he's
and
like,
I also think one of the reasons I struggle with the media too is like And maybe it's the perfectionism of like, I want it to look a certain way, even though there is really no rhythm or rhyme to why something gets a lot of views or not a lot of views. And so,
Yes.
like, I'm not, if I were to make art and I'm not the most, like, I don't color or draw or anything like that, but if I want to release something, I want it to be really good. And I'm
Yes.
having to learn that's like, just put it out there. And that's really hard for me. So that's
Yeah.
probably what you're talking
No,
about too,
it
the
is. It is.
perfectionism of it's not as perfect as I want it to look, but if I don't post anything, that's worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I started doing Facebook Lives, I would say in
I remember that. You did a
2019.
lot of those.
I'm not going to lie, I
Yeah.
kind of killed it. Like once I started doing Facebook Live, I'm not being conceited.
Oh, yeah.
You can look at the numbers
Yeah.
in my business.
Mhm.
Once I did Facebook Lives, that alone was the biggest dopamine addiction that I ever experienced in my life because I would do it. My word would get out at 11, and by 12:30, my shop would be so full. I was banging in $2,000.
Wow.
It was the dopamine hit of a lifetime.
Yeah, because you not only are you getting the engagements, then you're getting the like
Yes.
literal physical reward in
So
person.
that would have had to been 2017, 18, and 19 because 2020, it just went because of COVID. So yeah. But yeah,
that
so
happened, didn't it? You know.
and I think people loved me because like I didn't care what I looked like or said or if I was stupid or and then I would say something, I'd be like, oh, did I just say that? Oops. And it was live, so I couldn't take it back. But so I had this like following of people that thought that they knew me and they would see me out in public and they'd be like, hey, Amanda. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I don't know who you are. But yeah, and so then my husband, we'd go out to eat somewhere and my husband would be like, dude, I don't want to eat out with you anymore. I'm like, why? He's like, people keep coming up to us. It's really weird. They're staring. And I'm like, Tim, I'm not famous. Like, you're being silly, but it kind of did happen that way. And so going, that from 2017, 18, 19, making money, being a successful business guru, thriving to 2020 COVID, totally different. So 2020 COVID hit. I had been unwell and probably a lot of it had to do with the fact that I had overexerted myself for, so many years of hitting the gas light whenever I didn't have gas left. When they say you're burning the candle at both ends, someone threw a match in the center of mine 12 times.
All right.
And I just kept going because God didn't, he was like, hey, you need to slow down. And I'm like, oh, but God, I know better. I know better.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I learned hard lessons. So after COVID, business really tanked. And Facebook didn't work anymore. I couldn't get it to work. Nothing was working. And I'm like, what in the world? I'm failing. Well, you tell Scorpio she's failing. Woo. Daggers are coming out. So at that time, we took the 4-month COVID leave with the government subsidies and all that kind of stuff. It was so nice. And I got
you were deemed non-essential probably at that point.
Yes. And at that time, it was like, wait, I can rest? What is this? Who am I? What do I like to eat and watch? That kind of thing. And so then
Tiger King, that's what came out that year.
Yes, it was. Yes, it did. I actually didn't watch it, though, but I should have.
Because sometimes I look back and I'm like, was that a real?
Did I really
real
sit through
show?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I do that sometimes. And so the kids and I, at this time I had Tristan and I had Elise. Little boy, little girl, 3 years old and probably 7. And we just like chilled on the farm all day. And I was like, okay, I like this. I like being home. Like this is cool. So then I went back to work after COVID and it was really hard to get back into the swing of the 16-hour, 7 days a week. And I realized I'm neglecting my kids. Like not in a, I need to be turned into DFS, in a, my heart knows that Jesus gave me these children and here I am pushing them off on everyone else to raise and that's not their job and they don't deserve that. And if I don't want them to carry over this trauma that I've been carrying from having neglect with, and my parents didn't neglect me, but we all have trauma. We'll have to get into that now. But I didn't want the generational sin to continue. And I could tell that my daughter was starting to resent me. And I was like,
she's how old?
She was 7.
Okay.
And now she's 13. And so we've been working very hard on our relationship. It's been difficult because I know that some of her, emotional distress is because of what I did. Yeah. And I'm not ashamed to take that accountability because if I take that accountability, then there might be hope in this relationship
Right.
to
Yeah.
restore it.
I heard it. I think I was watching a TV show last night called The Bear. Have you ever watched?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so I love food and restaurant stuff, and there's this book called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Okay.
Also super good. I'll give it to you. But anyway, they said to break patterns, you got to break patterns.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious your mindset, like before that realization hit you, because obviously you've been raising her for a few years.
Yeah.
You were aware of how hard you were working. What was your mindset in those moments before you realized that you're like, oh, crud, this is affecting her? Was it like, you know, she'll look up to me and be proud of all that I'm
Yes.
doing? Or was it even on your mind?
Yes, all of that was. And I didn't even get to this point of recognizing what I was doing to her until after this business was sold. So, I mean, I can go back now and know that in 2020, she was screaming for help.
Yeah, you can see it now.
I see it now,
It
and
took
I'm
you a
like,
couple years to
oh,
see
yeah.
it.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where my ego got in the way of raising my children.
Yeah.
And this is part of the problem we have today in this society, because what we have developed here is a woman who is supposed to have children and raise them. And that is biblically what she is supposed to do. And be kind of a servant to her husband. And I'm not a feminist and I'm not an anti-feminist. But what I'm saying is in the Bible, it biblically says this, you know? And
what I will say too, when we talk about the Bible and what it says, it's not, you can call it a rule book, but it is totally for your good. Like that design that God
Right.
set up for that was really, really, really good. And
Right.
you can probably speak to that now.
oh, yes. But then, you know, if
Yeah.
Tim would have said, Amanda, we're not doing this flower shop anymore. Oh, hell yes, we are. You don't tell Amanda what she's doing or what she's not
If
doing.
you said, Amanda, submit.
Yes, I would be like, you submit on out. I keep the house and you go. That's how it would have went. And
You can
he
sleep
knew,
in the $10,000 cooler. That's
exactly.
where you can sleep,
And
buddy.
he would have known that too. He knew who he got married to. For
She
his
said, I
sake.
am him.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and that is what I mean is we're in such a contradiction in the society of, first of all, who is a woman and who is a woman that's not making money and who's a woman who is staying at home, not making money, raising kids, and who's a woman who's not 150 pounds, built like a brick and acting like she's got it all together
Sure.
and making sure her meals are, it's impossible. It's impossible. And so I had to prioritize to me, okay, and I say to me because I am a selfish person, but I really needed to prioritize to God what he had given me. But in my mind at that time, I had to prioritize to me that I wanted to be well. I actually wanted to make my marriage work because I had lived in a complete dysfunction growing up where several divorces, lots of split marriages and everything else. I didn't want that. And I had to prioritize that and recognize that my ego, my self-loathing, my importance to the world really didn't mean shit. Because my purpose here, as I sit here and say a bad word and then talk about how much I love God, but you know what? God still loves me and he forgives me every single day. And I am so grateful for that. I had to recognize that, you know, his love for me was so strong. But guess what, Amanda? You had to accept it. You have to accept that his unconditional love for you is counteracting any love that you didn't receive as a child or any love that you did receive in a $400,000 business. And so at that time, I wasn't worthy of it to accept it because I didn't accept it.
Yeah.
And so,
Which I think is, I've had to realize too, is just another form of ego.
oh yeah.
And it doesn't look like the pride ego, but just and it totally plays out. And if I'm speaking wrong, clean me up. But I think it even plays out in the way we do business and the way that, like, you were so good at, like, you just talked about all the chaos, craziness in your head, but your product and your business was
It
totally,
was on point.
was clean. Like,
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. I'm like, if you go into my house, living room, kitchen, everything that you would see,
Yeah, I heard you.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Bedroom is like, and I don't know if that's the same way for you, but
No.
that feels like how I behave with other people too. It's like I'm
Right.
really good at, like, if you walked into my place sad, it's almost like a game for me where I'm like, I'm gonna make you happy.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
It
And it's a
is.
talent, and I don't think necessarily we need to lose that, but inside it's just like this tornado of crud.
Right.
But is that kind of what you experienced too?
Right. So what it was at my shop, I was Amanda the Great. You know, I was like full of energy
Yeah.
and bubbly and blah, blah, blah. And then I got home and I was like, who left the trash in the trash can? And so my husband, he would go to the grocery store and these guys would be like, dude, your wife, man, she's so full of energy. How do you keep up with that? And he's like, you have no idea who my wife is because behind the glass, she is the great and powerful Oz. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Hmm.
But, oh, man, I was living a double life.
Hmm.
And it was all because I wanted the love and the acceptance that I couldn't get,
Yeah. Well, you
So-
were getting it, but it wasn't satisfying,
No.
right? Like you could go there and be the celebrity. I mean, you're talking about going into restaurants. That's how I felt going into any grocery store with my mom. Like if we saw somebody that she recognized, we're like, oh no,
Yeah, here's
we're gonna
15
be here
minutes.
for. I'm just gonna go to the toy aisle,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But, yeah.
And that part feeds the ego even more because
Yep.
you're like, oh, they love me and they
Yeah.
know who I am.
Yep.
And then here's Elise over here going, I was just supposed to get 15 minutes with you, Mom.
Mm.
And then it's like, ooh. So I checked myself. And that is when I had a flip. I went from, I want to serve Fayette, I want to serve, and 85% of our business did not come from Fayette. So majority of it came from other towns and people traveled to get to us, which was even more thriving.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey, this is so exciting. People are traveling for us. And then it flipped from, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be here. You need to get away from me. I'm going to snap. I don't want to do your wedding. And I went from doing 4 weddings a weekend, nonstop, going,
Yeah.
to I don't want to do this.
When was that flip?
I would say that was probably after COVID.
Yeah.
After I was at home,
I will
the
say I
seed
like
was
Not
planted.
to make you feel bad, but I could sense it.
Well, I think I even had a meeting here where I just
Oh, yeah.
straight lost my crap.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but you remember when I brought masks and we took pictures?
Yeah.
Because it was like mask time and
Uh-huh.
whatever. And I could just feel it.
Yeah.
But that was the general feeling that everybody had in that time too. Of
Yes.
Just like, what on earth?
And that's what I like. Like, yeah, I hate COVID, but at the same time, it did a reset for me
Yep.
to make me go, wait a minute, I have my priorities completely in the sewer.
Yeah. Like I wonder what would have shaken you. We talk about God like very gently calling us.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, he certainly used the pandemic to
It-
shake you up a little bit.
Yeah. For sure. Because you were like, wait, if I don't make $400,000 a year, I'm worth nothing. What am I going to do with my life? I'm going to grow 50-cent onions. That's where I'm at, yo. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. So talk through post-COVID and then deciding to
Say
shut it up.
post-COVID. And finally, I'm like, this just isn't me. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't fake Amanda anymore. But at the time, I didn't recognize what was screaming at me. And we're going to get really sentimental, and I hope I don't cry. My grandma was my rock. So she watched my kids. She raised my 2
Who's your
children.
grandma?
Sue Zimmerman. And
Okay.
she was at my shop all the time. She was a bubbly. I loved her. Everyone loved her. She was my biggest fan and my greatest love. And I am what I am today because of that woman. And I was raised by a village, and my grandma was that chief. And yeah, I could do wrong and she would correct me real quick. But I tell you what, somebody came at me and she was like, I'm going to take them out.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know, 5'2",
Yeah.
real
Oh, yeah.
thanny.
The monarch.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And she got sick
Hmm.
and she had cancer. She'd had cancer 2 other times. I was like, you got this, Grandma. You got this. You know, it's good. And then something come over me that I can't do this without her. And I'd been praying, and this was September, and I'd been doing meditation. I'd learned how to do mindful meditation. And dude, that really does work. If anybody is interested, it's really good stuff.
Okay.
And so one day I was in my bedroom and I was meditating, and I finally was like, hey, Lord, listen, here's the deal. I am miserably unhappy. My husband's miserably unhappy because I'm miserably unhappy, and happy wife, happy life. This is no happiness. And my kids are unhappy. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm not me. I want to find me again. And something came over me after the 20 minutes of silence, and it said, it's not the business, it's the building. And I was like, wait. I'm not into intercepting messages here. What?
Was this after the phone company drilled through your pipes or before?
Right I mean, the amount of crap that happened every day in that place, you never could make money because you were constantly paying for somebody else's crap they did to you.
Again, was that
Ugh.
before or after?
It was actually after.
Okay, all right.
It was after. I probably said, okay, they threw through my sewer and I'm throwing the freaking towel in because the shit's too deep. Like, I'm done. So anyway.
Literal.
Literal, like it flooded the shop. So I go into the office and my husband's in there and I'm like blank facing him and I'm like, dude, I think Jesus just told me to sell the building. And he's like, girl, we got bigger problems. If you think Jesus is coming telepathically to you. And I'm like, no, for real, Tim, like I'm in here meditating. And he's like, great, sell it. I'm like, don't tell Amanda Brand that.
I don't think I've met Tim yet, but Tim was so done. He's just so done.
Tim was done with that building the moment he stepped foot in to do the construction. And I tell you this, he never walked back in except once. He hated it. He hated what it did to me. He hated everything about it. And I get it because I put it before him. I put it before God. I put it for myself. I put it before my kids. It was my ultimate sin. It was, man. And at that time, I'm like, okay. So I called somebody. I said, I'm selling the building. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. And I called one person and I said, do you want to buy this building? Sure. So October, I sold a building.
I was imagining call me, honestly.
I should have.
But knowing that I couldn't do any
Vince
food or
Hildebrand
anything in
was
there.
too. He was like, dude,
Yeah.
what were you thinking? I'm like, I wanted out so bad
Yeah.
that it was like I didn't care how much money I lost. I had to go.
Sure.
And at that point, I should have quit a long time before that because in the grand scheme of thing, I just couldn't think clearly. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to implode. So
It's easy to look back and say, but it's clearly also the thing that has completely changed your life now.
100%. 100%. And
It's cool how failure does that.
Yeah. So especially to someone who says I don't fail. You know, like I knew
God's
I was failing, but I would fix it. And that was my other great lesson that God was like, hey, girl, you are going to fail. And I'm going to make sure you fail because I got to learn. You got to learn something from this.
Yeah.
And boy, did I. And so I sold it in October, told everybody like December, and I was like so excited to get out of there. I was so hard-hearted to anyone that came in and was like, why? And I'm like, don't look at me. You know, like you don't understand what I have sacrificed for a decade here. Yeah. And like, I didn't mean to be hateful. It was that I was completely over being needed. And well, Amanda will take care of it. She'll take care of it.
And
She's
I think
got
I
it.
hear a little bit too of it should just be like the subtitle of all these episodes of you know what you should do. But it's always those moments where like people will say things that you know is in love, but you're like,
oh,
yes. You don't know like the 10 years of pain that's in here.
Yes.
That has definitely thought about what I should do or what I shouldn't do or what I should keep open and shouldn't keep open. And there's just moments, guys, as business owners where we're not saying not to give feedback ever, but there's just some moments where if you catch us at the wrong time, just please come back another day.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And it's like, you know, somebody can be like, you should sell clothes. Okay, I'll sell clothes. Then it's like, you should sell clothes. I did sell clothes. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't work.
Yeah.
It worked for 2 years and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And so, you know, everybody always has a great idea for you. And I think the biggest lesson in that is I wanted to hear everybody else's ideas because I thought that they might actually be the reason that I become a millionaire. And instead, I wasn't hearing God and his ideas for me.
And probably another form of, I think that's where I struggle with it too, is that's another form of people pleasing.
Oh, yes.
Like I want to have every flavor that everybody could ever ask.
Yes, which is actually the greatest failure you could ever do is try to people please everybody. And I was such a people pleaser. I'm still a people pleaser. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
There's some superpower in there for that.
There is. There is.
But yeah, you can, it can become your identity real quick. Then you realize you're just making nobody happy.
Right.
Including yourself.
Including yourself. You're the most miserable.
Yourself.
Yes. So I sold it. My grandma got really, really sick. And
I sold it when? When did you sell it?
So I sold it October.
Of 20.
Golly.
Yeah,
2021 or 22.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. So Eden is 20 months. And I got pregnant March. I sold it.
It was at least 21.
So 23?
You probably...
Yeah, 23.
Because, well, I'm curious. Nicole parked her coffee trailer there.
Yeah, that's how she got started
any,
big time here.
Did you get any blowback from Casey's on that?
No, I didn't ask permission
Yeah, I
either.
was gonna say, yeah.
Apologize later.
Whatever. It's not your building now.
I was
so
like, I
whatever.
don't know why she's here.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
give her
There's
permission.
some
It's fine.
camper,
I'll go
I don't
take
know.
care of her. But no, I loved Nicole and having her. And that was the other greatest part of having somewhat of seniority or like an upper hand at anything because you could help other people. And
Autonomy, yeah.
that ultimately I know is my God-given talent is
Yeah.
like, I love to help people. And if it's sharing raw trauma that I've gone through as a child and seeing what I've achieved, that's what I want to do. I want to help people. And in my mind, flowers were what I was supposed to do because, someone passes away. I offer comfort through flowers. And so that was a talent. And I could do that. Someone's getting married. Well, most of them get married in a church. Well, they did. And that's with God. And I was providing that too. And so a unity and a lifelong relationship with, their spouse and a new birth of the babies and, big birthday parties and graduations. Every big event that people had, they invited me into. And that made me feel so loved and special. And so I was like, well, that's got to be my talent, like, thanks God for allowing me to touch these people's lives in that way. And then I realized that I think he did. And I know that I got through there were some seriously tragic funerals that I would internalize them. And it was hard to do.
Back to the school stuff where you're, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's ultimately, I think I internalized too many things. And then I had several employees and I would always like give them everything of me. And then either I would get burnt, they would steal from me or, and then I had some that were just the most amazing people in the world. But it was very traumatic having a business. And any business owner, like, how everyone's like, you should be a waitress, you should do this. You should own your own business and know what it's like to write checks to other people when you have absolutely no money to do it and you still have to feed your family because it's real. It's very real. And then they come in and they're like, well, why don't you have any more peanuts? What? I can't even buy eggs for my family. Do you not see that I have 47 other things on the wall? Can you buy one of those?
Specific scenario.
I know, right? I don't know why I said peanuts. Because we're at a circus. Do, 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 do. Yeah. So
you definitely didn't serve food ever.
I didn't serve food, no. No, I hardly ever even had time to eat food, honestly.
Right, yeah.
So then I got rid of the business. I did not. I kept the business because part of me thought that I couldn't sell the business because it was my baby.
Right.
And so if I sold the business, nobody would ever be able to do it like I did it. And then I would be really upset. And then I would never be able to let go of the business. So ultimately, I guess Jesus thought, okay, sell the building, Amanda, keep the business so you can hold on to a little bit of whatever you think that you need to hold on to. Yeah. So I did that. And so
I've spent what? Was 9 or 10 years building a brand.
Yes.
There's value in that.
Yes, exactly. And I'm still like trying to let it go, but not let it go. So I still want to do like artificial flowers, that kind of thing to where I can be with my family and my kids, but still do things on the side. But then it's like, I don't really want to do that one either. Like it's so hard. And, we talked about this. My husband's a farmer. This is before we were on air, but my husband's a farmer. And so he has gone what used to be 8 months out of the year. And now I feel like it's 12 months out of the year because of everything else that has established with farming.
Yep.
And so my kids were always being raised by somebody else. And I was like, wait, that's not what I want to do. And so it's like, okay, do I go ahead and find someone to take care of them? And then I do these things on the side, but then you never even really make money because you got to find somebody to cover all the things that you're doing at home.
Right.
And so
working for free, basically.
Working for free. Yep. And so the whole grand scheme of things is like, okay, do I really want to give up working for free so my kids are raised by somebody else when they were my gift? No. And so that's really humbled me to be like, wait a minute. Yeah. Where do you need to be? Right. And does it really matter that you went from $10,000 weddings to 50-cent onions? Yeah.
Okay. So talk me through that transition period then.
It took a lot.
Closed up the physical location, took the business home.
Okay.
Right.
So January of 2023, we closed up the business. I moved home. January 21st, I was done. March.
Did you get sick in that 2-month window too?
Very much so.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
Yep.
I mean, like, it was like the addict coming off the cocaine. I mean, hit rock bottom.
Yep.
And I was like, what's wrong with me? And I went to all these.
Immune system was like, So we're done, right?
Wait. Are
We're
you
done here.
sure we're done? Because I can't
You
do this
owe me
anymore.
a 2-month trip to Cabo, and we're out. Your immune system
With
was
no
gone.
alcohol. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so then I got better. In March, I was pregnant. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay, great. And it was planned.
Okay.
Totally planned. We love Eden. And that was also part of I wanted to sell and get out because I wanted a third baby.
Oh.
But I knew grandma was sick. So that meant I had to be the third baby's mom without help.
Yeah.
Didn't register until it was too late. And then grandma died. And I was 6 months pregnant. And nothing hit me about grandma dying. I knew she was dead, all of this. But I was still thriving on the new baby coming in November.
Right.
The baby came in November. Come January, guys, I hit a rock bottom I had never experienced in my life.
January of 24 then.
No, this is 23.
23.
Oh, wait. January of 23, I sold. March of 23, I was pregnant. November of 23, Eden was born.
So January
So
24
she
then.
died June of 23.
Okay.
And it was Amanda's got this. I got this. And then January came and I now had 3 children all by myself. And I remember coming home with Eden and his labor was very long, 36 hours. And I made 27 hours without any kind of medicine whatsoever. Nothing. I did it. Active labor. And then they were like, dude, the baby's stuck. You have to have him shifted. Like, this is not working. And so the trauma of his labor, he didn't sleep for 7 days. So I was up for 7 straight days. And so Tim went back to work because he was not done with harvest. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so typically grandma would be there. She'd be the hero. She'd save it all.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, wait, grandma's not here.
Mm.
And so January came and I just was not okay. And I went to the doctor and I'm like, dude, I'm not, like, something's really, really wrong with me. We had all these tests and all these scans. And I mean, every scan you could think of. And they're like, you're fine. I'm like, don't tell me I'm fine. Like, something is wrong with me. And at this moment, I now, after trauma therapy, after coaching and things that I've been through, I can see that the death of my grandma was the domino to I lost my business, but I didn't lose it. I gave it up. But to me, as an overachiever, I lost it.
Yeah.
I couldn't fix it. I couldn't make it. I failed. That all of a sudden came to me. All the people that I was getting the affirmation for that I was great are now gone. I'm at home alone with 3 kids and one that screams all the time.
And it's January and it's cold.
It's January.
And we're locked in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went for a good long period of running from God and being like, I'm mad at you. But I didn't realize that I was mad at him. And then one day I was just like, I'm mad at you. Like, we need to have this conversation right now because I'm not okay and you're not here for me. But he was. I just wasn't able to receive him. Mm-hmm. And so that was the turning point for me to admit, I am mad at you and I can't forgive you right now. You took the best thing that ever happened to me away. And I then reached out to a counselor. It was actually a life coach. I'd done counseling and that just didn't. I mean, I've done counseling my whole life and I never achieved anything with the counselors that I achieved with a life coach. If anyone needs a recommendation, I have one and I will let you know. She's amazing. And so we started digging into some deep stuff and then recognizing that the dominoes were stacked so deep, the onion was so thick, the walls were so dense that I was going to have to start pulling onions down to get, and I'm still pulling these onions down. What is with the freaking onions?
That just hit my mind. I was like, this onion analogy, where did it come from? Because you're now selling 50-cent onions.
I know,
and
right?
Each time you've talked about trauma, you're talking about peeling back the onion.
Yeah.
Who brought up the onion?
Jesus.
Was it the life coach? I mean,
he says, Amanda, it's not flowers anymore, girl. You got them onions.
What was that movie?
Holes.
Yes.
Holes. Yes. Yeah. So I be smelling like
Just
onions.
some Kate Barlow.
I be eating onions. I be peeling them.
Wow.
So yeah. So I did some trauma therapy, got to some deep stuff on even why I was obsessed with the business, why I was a perfectionist, all these things. And boy, that third baby has humbled me. He's humbled
He's
me.
boy. Okay.
He's a boy. Oh,
So
he
you
is.
have girl, boy, boy.
I have girl, boy, boy, and that girl goes, "You are not having any more because I cannot do this, mother." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, sissy."
So how old is boy right now?
Uh, so Elise is a girl. She's going to be 13, July 24th, and then that's also our 15th anniversary. Yay! Tristan is 9, and Eden is 20 months.
Okay. So 13, 9, and almost 2.
So very.
You got some
long.
help though.
It's so nice. It is so nice.
Logan's family with Hallie, I think
Oh.
being like 13-ish. I don't know what she is, 12 or 13. And then, Hardin and little Hattie of Logan's family.
Yes.
Dude, Hallie is just the best.
And
having
Lisa's
that.
like the second mom. And so
yeah.
then I'm like, are you going to hate
very
me for
jealous
this?
of it.
Oh, it's
Very
great,
jealous of
man.
it,
It's great. She's like, did you get your cell phone? Did you get the diaper bag? Diapers in the diaper bag? Wipes? Mom, you forgot. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Elise. But then too, I have such a wide variety. The baby is now going to all the baseball games and they're going, so you have you're doing something all the time.
Yeah, you got to remember cleats and diapers.
Yeah, and it is tough. But at the third baby, it's like he doesn't have shoes. It's fine. It's going to slow him down on the gravel. He doesn't need shoes.
It'll
We're
toughen
good.
up his feet. It's
Fine. Yeah. But he was a gift. He was a gift for me to hold me together when God knew I was going to need it the most. Because once grandma died, I would have been not okay. I wasn't okay, but I had to be okay because he was there and the kids were there. And they would have been old enough they could have fended for themselves. And I could have went down the rabbit hole so dark and deep that I wouldn't have come back. Eden had to have me. And so now I recognize that the gift of him is so beautiful because he also saved me, And with losing her too, I had to find myself, and then past trauma she had protected me from was then coming out with my dad. My mom was a 15-year-old mom, and so I was always a mistake in my mind. And my dad was 17, and there was some controversy there, and they never had anything to do with me until I was 14. Sorry.
How does that? So
Not sure how we got to that.
Did you grow up then like grandma raised you until 14?
Well, and I don't want to discredit my mother because she is one hell of a woman. And the fact that she even had me at 15 is remarkable. Yep. And, there was always that option of I could have been aborted. Yep. And that was an option. And that was kind of pushed by the other side. And so I shouldn't know that. And I do. And I can't blame that side of my family for letting me know that because, my uncle was 18. My mom was 15. My other uncle was 13. And then my grandma and grandpa who were in the early 30s.
Yeah, we're talking about kids.
Kids, babies.
Kids.
Even my grandma was younger than I am currently.
Yeah.
So
and
their
we do not have this thing figured.
No.
Not in our 30s. No.
I know. And I don't know anything still. I'm hoping 40 is better for me. And so not having her there to protect me from the emotions that were then coming, I was not prepared for that. And then I was like, wait, I'm just going to run. I'm just run away from all this crap. And then finally, I think God said, homegirl, we're done running. Homegirl.
You got that? That's how he speaks to you.
He's a homegirl who growing some home onion. We done. And that's how Jesus talks to me.
Yeah, he gives me some bros and dudes. Like, dude, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Yeah. Speaks to me like a millennial, because you're one too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
He had to. He has to. Yeah. So then I think becoming a mother of 3 was also my trigger of I became a mother of all of them because grandma was my mother. My mothering to my children too.
And now you're outnumbered physically.
I'm outnumbered.
Yeah.
And for once I have to take accountability that these kids are my kids and they're not her responsibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that happens a lot with boomerang parents these days and things like that. Like
boomerang? What does that mean?
Like kids who leave and then they come back and their parents help raise their kids because they can't do it on their own. You don't know what a boomerang is?
Oh. I mean, I know what a boomerang is. I've just never heard that term.
You just said you're a millennial.
Yeah. But the boomerang, I haven't heard of that before.
A boomerang child is someone who leaves. And then,
what do you mean, like leaves?
Okay, they graduate high school, they go to college, so then you're throwing them out, right?
Oh yeah.
But then they come back.
Oh, so I was a boomerang child.
Oh,
right?
No, I don't know.
So I
you
graduated
come back
high school,
and you have your family and everything in your parents' home.
Oh no,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So then they like stay. They realize that living is nice in their home free.
Got it.
Then they don't really have to do as much. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
How
Crash
did-
course.
How did we just get on that? Where were we?
How you were being. I'm curious. You said your parents didn't come back into your life till like 15, something like that.
So my dad didn't come into my life till I was 15.
Okay. Your mom raised you.
My mom raised me, and we
Okay.
lived with my grandparents.
Got it.
And so, yeah, so I had all kinds of people that raised me because mom was still in high school. So I actually went to high school twice
Crazy.
because I went with my mom in her stomach, and then I went to high school. So I am super educated, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so when they have, high school reunions, I'm like, hey, mom, should I come? I was there too.
Can she take that joke
Oh,
now?
God,
Okay.
yes.
good.
My mom is awesome, dude. She's so awesome.
She can go back to high school and she's like, "Hey, you remember this? Do you
Yeah,
remember?"
right.
Oh.
So that's where we are. And then my dad had a whole nother life without me, but then he ended up having an ultralight plane crash when I was 4 years old. He was a pilot. I mean, this dude was cool.
Wow.
I mean, like he was cool. And I wish that I had the opportunity to know him before his tragedy. But he made it. He survived.
Yep.
And so I know my dad now not as the person that my mom knew. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to put into words. Like there's so many emotions that want to come out about that situation. Growing up with my mom and them, they had a perception of him and that side of my family, and they were very open to share that with me. So any trauma they had, I then internalized.
So, translation: only one side of the story,
I only have one side of
Okay.
the story.
and wow, that's you. Just because I can tell your choice of words there, you aren't saying it's probably the full story, but you're also not mad at them because it was their
Right.
perception. Okay.
Yeah. And I knew it wasn't the full story. And even as a child, I knew it wasn't the full story. But I also know that when someone is hurt in a way, sometimes you're not necessarily given facts without emotions.
Sure.
And so I knew that there was
Because
probably
it's kind of
more.
impossible in that. And I guess maybe one of my
Yeah.
questions for you there is like, because come from a broken home, and my mom was very, I think, cautious to share anything because she was nervous that she would create a wrong perception in my mind.
Yeah.
And I can't tell which way would have been better. I really don't.
Right.
Because I think if she would have shared the truth and her perception of the truth, it would have been valid.
Right.
And so but then there's that flip side of like, Mom, why didn't you tell me this? And that didn't happen a lot for me because I was 15 when everything went down. So I got to see a lot of it for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think, just because you use those choice of words? I mean, is one better, or do you have a preference on which way you would have rather heard it?
Okay. So this is what I know. The way that I was raised, there were no filters, and I was raised as an adult. So then me raising my children, I recognized I was raising them as adults instead of children. And then I had to recognize I needed to set boundaries to where, and that's where Lisa and I's relationship gets hairy because I always treated her like an adult, and now she doesn't know how to be a child. And so generational sin continues. And so now
she's 13.
And now she's 13. And now I'm, it's
a
like,
little woman.
am I too late?
Yep.
And so I have to go back and try to rework things that I did wrong when she was younger, but I didn't even realize I was doing it wrong.
Right.
And so that is my biggest thing that I want to tell people. Like, it's okay that you're doing it wrong. Number one, God's going to forgive you regardless. But just living life alone, you're never going to get it all right. And guess what? I'm a perfectionist, and I'm admitting that, and I thought I was doing everything right. And I wasn't. I wasn't doing anything that I thought was right was not right, but it's going to be okay. And I know that it's going to be okay. And so, having the rejection of, you weren't even wanted and you were a mistake was my biggest thing I had to work through.
And proof of that of 15 years of absence.
Yeah. And,
Right.
I am saying this wholeheartedly as a woman, as a mother, and as a 38-year-old. My mom at 15 how could she not have thought you ruined my life?
Oh, I'd be pissed off for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so she did such a good job of never actually saying that. Could I feel it? I think I could sometimes,
Yeah.
but damn, mom, you are a woman. Like at 15, you grew up and you made me, and there are no mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, you did such a good job. You did such a good job. And it took me until like Eden was a year old to have that conversation with her. One day I was just like, I need you to be quiet because she talks a lot.
Your mom.
Yeah, I don't know where I get this, right? Oh. And so she just kept, and I was like, I need to talk to you. Like, I need to tell you something. And she's like, what? And I was like, I love you. And you are the most amazing person I have ever met, because what you went through is so much more than what I ever went through. And I'm struggling really bad right now. Yeah. And so I can see you. I feel you. I know you. And I want to tell you thank you. And Landon, it was that moment with my mom that she was like, whoa. Yeah. And she just cried because she was like, I've waited my whole life for that.
Yeah, for that, like, it's got to be a sense of relief too.
Like gratification of, I did it. You know, I did it, and you recognize it. And
yeah, I always talk about too, just and if your kids are watching this, like, you can have two really great parents, but the reality of two human beings that are sinful is just going to produce sinful kids and sinful things. Like, I acknowledge that, and Lord willing, that He keeps me and that our marriage stays intact forever, which I hope and love and pray for. My kids will still need to go to counseling for some stuff.
Everyone does.
Yeah. If you were raised by, unless you were raised by Jesus, straight up,
right?
Like manifest, like you're gonna need to go to some counseling for stuff. And so, even more so from kids with really shattered homes. Like, and I've had this conversation with my mom, and as I've gotten older too, because it was easy, when I'm like 22, saying, "Mom, like, don't worry, we're gonna be okay. Don't worry, we're gonna be okay." Right. And that your life is not about me. And we've had those conversations before. And then now at 30, I'm like, I don't think if I had been a part of something, it wasn't my mom's fault, but if I had been a part of something that was so hard for my kids, and seeing a lot of the trauma that's come from that, I don't think there's anything that anybody could tell me that would make me go,
right. Right.
And so I mostly just want, any kids or even just parents hearing that, like, it is a result even in perfect households.
Oh, 100%.
Of needing help, even if you had perfect parents, it's very important to realize why you behave the way that you do.
Yeah.
And I think it's gracious of the Lord, to, in a sense, your version of onion is my version of breaking my back. I had a back surgery when I was 20. But I was, like most young dudes, convinced that I was going to go play pro baseball, and it was all my identity. Like, your business was your identity. This was all my identity. I was going to play baseball. I was playing blah, 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 blah. And finally, gentle things of like, hey, dude, you're probably not. You're like 5'11" and overweight, buddy. Like, and you're white and from here. Like, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And then finally just blew out my back, and that was it,
Right.
And so I'm, like, thankful for that moment, because that started the path of, like, actually, like, understanding why I operate the way I do. And it's weird, and maybe as a parent you can speak this too, like, and you're raising a 13-year-old now.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the 9-year-old boy too.
Yeah, he's feisty.
The little toddler's perfect. They're super fun at that age. But, like, I hope that my kids have a breaking point that hurts but doesn't
break them,
crush them.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what I got. I think that's just what good. Like, that, to me, that's the grace of the Lord.
Yep.
That is not but you had that moment. Go back to that moment a little bit where you were mad at God and where it went from there. Where you were just like, why did you do this to me? Because that was around your grandma, I think, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
what was that journey after that?
So then I recognized that, I actually did this whole journal in my book, and if I had it, I would be vulnerable enough to read it. But it was like, I was putting my grandma before God. And
how so?
Because she was an idol.
Okay.
And so she could protect me. I didn't need God's protection. And she could love me. So I didn't
Was she a believer?
Oh, big time.
I was going to say.
Yeah, she was. And boy, if she heard me say this, she'd be like, girl, you better back up. I'm gonna spank your bottom. And she had enough faith that it could carry me. And uh all these things that then I recognized that yeah, she isn't in this world anymore, but she's still in my heart. But my heart's so black right now that I can't even let her love come through or let God's love come in. And so I'd read this book just recently about your heart has two different outlets, one for you to give and one for you to receive. And once you shut one off, you can't receive on the other side
What
either.
was that?
I'm going to have to get back with you on that. I have a picture on my phone.
It's okay.
Anyway, yeah, it was really good. And so I'm a firm believer that God will give you exactly what you need when you are ready to receive it. And I was ready to receive it that day. And I just happened to, after 3-4 weeks of it sitting on my dresser, someone gave me the book. I opened it up and I was like, Pow. So, yeah, I'm hard headed and I'm driven, but then I recognize that the brick hits and I get it, And so that at that point with her, I had to forgive her for being sick and for leaving. And then I had to open up my heart to God and be like, it's okay that I'm mad at you, but I'm also ready for you to heal me from the grief. And are we ever going to be healed from grief? Probably not. I probably won't. There's always going to be a piece of me that's missing. And I'm telling you, there will be days that I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me? And then I'll go outside and I have 5 seconds to myself and I just start crying and I can't breathe because she's not here anymore. And so I don't feel safe. And so I'm here raising 3 kids that I'm supposed to make sure they feel safe with my husband in the field, but I don't feel safe. So how does that work? Like how can you create security and confidence and love in a household when your entire being is a complete wreck?
Yeah. And at this point too, you're home now, right?
Yeah.
So even
Yeah.
giving up your building and you're like, oh man, I thought I did the big thing and then everything would be healed. And
that's not what happened.
Wow.
Because then the gratification and the praising is now gone too. But I'm also just a people person. I love me some people.
Yep. And now you're in a field.
And now I'm in a field with corn and onions. And it's like, dude, I'm going to have to take pictures of
an adolescent, a
onions.
9-year-old boy, and a 2-year-old.
Yes, who require every ounce of me every single day. And then it's like, wait, do I have anything to give? I don't think I have anything to give today. Well, too damn bad. You got to give it, girl. And so it's just been such a humbling experience to recognize what's really important and to actually and I'm still working on my journey with God. Everybody is. I believe we're all still working on journeys with God, but to give him control and let him be like, hey, this is what I have for you. And I feel like Amanda has been in control so long, it's hard to get to the point of seeing where he is and what he has working for
I heard
me.
a sermon that said breakthrough is always on the other side of surrender. And surrender has been the word that I've had to hear over the past couple of years with just kids. And I have to surrender, and you probably have to do the same thing. I have to surrender the vision that I had for me, that I had for them,
Yes.
And you're like,
yeah, this is not good.
Is your dad still around?
My dad is. He made that accident. It was a miracle. Everybody was like, pull the plug. He's not going to do it. So let me kind of give you, how much time do we have here?
Don't matter.
Okay.
This watch doesn't even work. It just looks cool.
It just looks good.
Yeah.
It matches your mic and your straw. Look at you.
You guys were only an hour in.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So I'm telling this story from a third party perspective. So I don't know if everything that I'm saying is accurate or not. So he was up in Warrensburg, going to be an engineer, and he was a pilot. Cool. I mean, just like I just recently met with his best friends,
like Top Gun kind of.
Yeah. And he was good looking and he had some girlfriends. He had some money. He had all the things of the world.
This is after having you.
This is after having me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So he's living life.
He's living life. And he had all worldly things.
Yeah.
Everything that was Bart Riley was awesome. And
that's his name.
Bart
That's a
Riley.
cool guy's name. Is he going to watch this, you think, maybe?
I'm going to let him.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a cool dude, man.
Can we get some pictures of him like in
Absolutely.
the
I'll send
because
you
like
some
I want
pictures
to
of
see
him.
like the Top Gun like
Well, unfortunately, I don't have that
okay.
because this is before his accident. And
Yeah.
so that's part of, like I have to look at my son Tristan every day, knowing that he gets these specific attributes from somebody, but I don't know who it is, but I know it's my dad.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
Because
yep.
I didn't experience him. And so he was in this ultralight plane crash. So do you know what that is? It's
Nope.
like a winged. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a winged airplane, and it's a hang glider with a
Okay.
motor.
Oh, okay, got it.
Got it?
Yeah, yeah,
So legs are dangling, body is out, like,
Yep.
and there's a motor.
And this is early 2000s probably.
Oh God, no! This was like
Late
92,
okay. All right. So we're not
92 or
so not even big
93.
like technology really.
No technology,
Yeah.
none whatsoever. And so the hang glider or the ultralight plane crash, apparently I just got this information like this year within 3
Wow.
months ago.
Okay.
So this is new for me, but I have peace knowing it now. He was a daredevil, but he wasn't being a daredevil. It just was rusted and the propeller fell off. And so he was in the air. The propeller came off and took off the side of his head. Like literally his brain was showing.
Oh my gosh.
And he crashed into a cornfield in Blackwater. And his knees, they didn't just like break. His femur bone compacted up into his knees.
Big one.
And so I'm going to tell you the coolest story ever. And I'm hoping that I am relaying the message correctly. But at this point, he is laying on the ground and he is up above himself and he sees himself and Jesus is there and he is talking to him. And he says, Bart, do you want to come with me or you want to stay here on earth? And I don't know the banter, anything of that. And he chose to stay on earth. And then he went back into his body immediately. He felt pain. And then he was rushed. I mean, he literally is missing part of his brain.
Who told you this story?
So his best friends told me the story. And I'd heard this story from my grandmother too. But I was much younger. And so he met Jesus. And so he's in the hospital for months and months on end. And my grandma was like, we're not pulling the plug. Like she had no idea any of that happened, obviously,
Right.
because he's completely unconscious. And as a child, I wasn't even in part of this. Like I knew he had a car or a plane crash. I read it in the newspaper.
You're like 4, right?
I'm 4. Mm-hmm. And I didn't recognize any of that. I knew it was like, that's sad. I'm sad. But I didn't know how sad. And so he came out of it and he is in a chair. He has a wheelchair. He has prosthetic legs. It's hard for him to see things.
I'm
like,
sure, yeah.
it's like black and white, I think. And it's difficult to communicate, but he can communicate. It's just like stringing long sentences along is exhausting for him, that kind of thing.
So you didn't get that from him?
I did not. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, we really don't
yes,
know. But
yes,
yeah.
I think he was a very personable person.
Sure,
And I think he was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that he was very down to earth and he was just amazing. And so after the accident, so I was 4 and probably 5 when he finally was released. They didn't contact me till I was 14 to have something to do with him.
Who's they?
So his mom and dad is who
Okay.
is in care of him still.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, they've done a really nice job of taking care of him. He's never had to go to a home. He's never had, anything that's but the best.
Yeah.
But the best. So for the longest time, I didn't know how to communicate with him. And I didn't ever want to say anything to make him feel bad for not having something to do with me. And as a child trying to emotionally explain, I feel rejected, but I also need your love now is really difficult.
Yeah.
And it carried over and it's still carrying over into my life now.
Were your mom and dad married?
Never. Mm-mm. So she was
Did you
15.
have a stepdad ever?
He was 17. I did. Had a
Okay.
great stepdad. His name was Jimmy, and I loved him. He was awesome, and he was always like the quiet guy. and mom was always super feisty, so he always was the sound person. And then I have a sister who's a half sister. That is Jimmy and Stephanie's together.
Who's
And
that?
her name's Katie.
Okay.
And she works at Route B Diner. I don't know if you ever go there, but she's like
Over in Boonville?
yes, man, she loves it. And she's the ball of energy in that place. So if you go there, you'll be like, yeah, that's her sister. We look nothing alike. She's
Okay.
blonde hair, blue eyes,
Yep.
but we have the same energy. And so, she's a cool cat. She's a recovering addict. She wouldn't mind me sharing
Sure.
that.
We'll get her on here and
dude,
talk
she
about
would
it.
love it.
Yeah.
She helps people every day of her life, and she has such a strong story of trauma in her life as well. You know, everybody has trauma. I think the biggest thing to learn from anybody's trauma is you got to make it triumph. You got to make it triumph. You got to figure out what is affecting you, how it's affecting you, and how you can stop it before you transfer it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And now knowing what I've gone through, even seeing things in my emotional issues of my dad and stuff like that, all of those people had trauma. And so their trauma is being related to me, but I'm taking it as rejection or I'm a mistake when that's not it. It's that they can't handle it themselves and they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so just knowing that, I have more grace for people because I'm just looking at them going, how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And so you can see on the other side of the fence, like there's no side that's greener. There really isn't.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't work that way.
Well, and I hear like two different things, and you might point your mic just a little bit at you there.
I hate it.
I'm hearing like the two sides of this that I feel as a man and a parent of like, you've got to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And then going, like, it's all going to be okay. Kind of no matter what you do, you're going to pass some trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Those these two things that feel like they're on the other side of each other. And then I'm like, I don't know how any of y'all cope with that without a lot of prayer, right? Like at least, and maybe I'm small-minded. That might be the perception, but my like shortest, quickest answer to how do I marry those two issues is like, Jesus, please, like, keep my daughter, please keep my son, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know how, you know, like you said, it's just giving you a lot of grace for other people.
Yeah. Well, and I think that I'm not trying, and my sister would be able to elaborate more. I think that's where you have these two things and you have addiction.
Yeah.
And that's where we put addiction before God. And I did that. I did that with a business. Yeah. It wasn't cocaine or heroin, but I was addicted.
Yep.
And with that addiction, I didn't have to deal. All
and
that
now
emotion could be suppressed.
Phones, now it's
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that can, not that your phone has worse effects than cocaine and heroin.
No,
I'm not
I
trying
think
to
it
say that,
does.
but it's not as subtle, right? It's
And you have to have it.
right. Like I don't know if you're gonna like physically need to go to the EMS, you know, like take a ride in the ambulance over your phone, but man, it's quite the escape.
Yeah.
It's always there. And you can recharge it for free. You don't have to buy drugs. You can just recharge it for free. I'm sorry, I'm going to take this analogy
No,
too
it's
far.
a complete conspiracy that I totally have. But yeah,
yes,
I agree. And I think that that's, you know, the anxious generation. That's what we are creating. It's the byproduct of nobody.
I was talking about that. Maybe with Nicole.
Did you read the book?
What? That's a
Anxious
book?
Generation?
Mm-mm.
Yes,
Oh,
you should read it. I haven't read it either, but you should read it.
Are you one of those people who's like read half of all the books?
Yes, I am open the book in the middle of and that's where I start.
What?
I'm serious.
Why?
Magazines, everything.
You just start.
I think I have some ADHD tendencies.
Just
I
right
really
in the middle.
do. Every time. Like I jump in and I'm like, I do it with movies too. Tim and I will be watching a movie.
You don't.
Yes, I do. I'll go do laundry and everything
Tim cool
else.
with this?
He's like, how do you know what's happening? And I never ask him, you know, what happened? I don't. I just jump in and he's like, why don't you just sit still and watch the movie from start to finish? Yeah. I don't know.
Tim, if you need somebody to watch movies with, I got you, man. We'll start at the beginning and we won't ask who that is and who that character is for the next 2 hours. Like we'll just it happens with my wife all the time where we'll start something and she's like, who's that? And I'm like, let the movie tell you. I don't know who it is yet. But then she's like, I don't want to watch it with you because I'll be a jerk and I'll just be like, just let the movie tell you, honey. It'll tell you.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Start in the middle.
I know I've always been that way. I always start in the middle for everything. Maybe that's why I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably some psychology.
I'm sure there's something about it. I don't want to ever start at the beginning. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so let's get into what you're up to now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I got this weird friend request a while ago from farmers So go ahead and say what it is.
Farmer's Wife Organic Life.
Farmer's Wife Organic Life. And it took me not that long to go. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Amanda, but I don't know. So yeah, what are you doing now?
Yeah, what am I doing now?
50 cent onions. You keep
50
referencing that. What is
cent
that?
onions.
Are you growing onions?
So I have a garden.
Okay. All right.
And so I even like talked to my athletic director at my 20th class reunion. He's like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm homesteading. And he's like, no, really, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, really, I have
was
a
your athletic
garden.
director?
Terry Davis.
Okay.
And he was like, dude, you have a garden? And I'm
You're
like,
not running a business or hustling.
yes,
Yeah.
and I was the biggest leader. Like that's what I got
Yeah.
nominated in school. Like I was going to be the biggest. So part of
I
this
just
is.
got worst car. That's what I got.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Did you have a clunker?
It's a 1987 Oldsmobile Forenza. We called it the Poop Mobile. It was awesome.
Was it brown?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if I got any other attributes. I know Logan got most dramatic, which is totally fitting for him.
That's
too. But
hilarious.
anyway, but yeah. So
So yeah, I got biggest leader. So now I'm like, hey, I'm sitting at home leading my house. Is that what But
Yeah.
but that is
Yeah.
because the greatest thing that I'll ever achieve are my children because my legacy can continue.
yeah, and you hear everybody say that.
Yeah.
You hear everybody say that, and then you hear everybody say, "I wish I'd spent more time with my kids."
Yes.
And then we kind of become weirdos when we pick up that call.
Yeah.
And go, "Oh, okay, I'm going to take that seriously." And then they're like,
Yeah.
"You're homesteading and leading
Right.
your family."
And I had this conversation with one of my friends the other day. I feel as though our generation was made for such a time as this. We are the Esthers because
When you say our generation, what do you mean?
well, the people who are having children right now.
Okay.
So generation as in 2 decades,
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
are having
Sure.
children right now because we're listening and we're like, wait a minute. Wait, what's the priority here?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Does that make sense? Those things of we're asking questions that our other, like our parents didn't ask, or, they were just told to do it and they did it.
Yep.
And it was just autopilot. And I feel like we're rewiring. And I don't think all of us are doing it, but I think there's a good majority of Christian people
Yep.
who are doing it.
Yep.
And I
I
believe
think it's got to happen.
it has to, or we're going to collapse.
Yep.
And so I feel like that's God. I feel like he is using that rewiring to go, time out. You all think you got all this figured out, but you don't.
Yep.
And so I'm humbled by that, but I'm also like excited that he chose me to be part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gardening and like I do things organically, which means like my husband is a sprayer applicator, meaning he applies pesticides, insecticides, and fertilizers. And I'm like, don't touch me. That's really
Yeah.
funny, right?
So has organic always been?
No.
Okay, so
Nope.
take
nope,
you there.
Not at all. So I've never been organic. I worked with those 3 terrible things every day of my life at
Yep.
the shop
Sure.
because of flowers. And I believe part of me being sick had something to do with that, constantly touching those. We would go through, I don't even know, thousands of roses on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Roses are one of the most heavily pesticide thing that you could have. So who knows what that did to my system,
Right.
And so my husband is going more the all natural farming way, which I'm really excited about because I feel like I would do something and he would be like, oh gosh, here she goes again. But then a month or 2 later, he's like, hey, I'm gonna do this to
Yeah.
my crop. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing that to my body.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Well, and it's always felt like the organic movement is anti-farmer.
yeah,
Always.
that
And
doesn't make sense.
I hope it comes closer for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like we need to have farmers educated,
Yeah.
not by big companies trying to make money off of them. And that's
What
where
do they call that type of farming? Not homesteading, but it's like a type of like regenerative farming or something like that. Where like is he doing different things with the soil to try
yes,
to? Okay.
microbiology.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's doing different microbiomes to enrich the soil to have a better yield. And toot his horn, he has won several awards.
Really?
Yes, like
Wow.
best in the nation, best in Missouri. Yeah, he's doing
Wow.
really good. He
That's
is rocking
awesome.
this stuff. And
I need to have him come talk about that.
Oh,
If-
man,
if you think he would?
I don't know. He's kind of
Maybe sit next to you and talk about
He's
it?
kind of shy. Yeah, I bet he would.
Yeah.
I bet
got
he would.
another chair. We can throw it in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet he would because he's really passionate about it. And, he like the other day he called me. He's like, hey, I'm spraying fertilizer. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, turkey poop, so it's like an all natural
Yeah.
type of thing. And he's like, aren't you proud? And I'm like, I actually really am proud of you, And so
He loves you. That makes me happy.
he does love me.
Yeah.
He loves me so much. I couldn't have crafted a person better for me. He is my perfect person. And I'm so grateful for him. And God did not make a mistake by putting us together. And it's so great because we're both like first children.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I think that there's something to that because we're both very hard-headed. And so we'll confrontation type thing, and then we'll walk off, and then we'll come back, and we'll both be like, I'm sorry, you know? But it takes us a minute to get unheated.
Yeah.
And then we're like, wait a minute, we need to work this out.
My wife and I are both middle children, and so
Okay.
we'll just like sit in silence for like 45 minutes before one of us bursts, and then one of us is like, "Ooh." It's just
That's
like
so
that's
funny.
the opposite. We're like, we don't pop off on each other. It's just like, I feel like it's just
Band-Aid ripped.
straight into tears. So, but we've gotten better at that for sure.
Good. You will. As the
you have
longer that
to.
yes,
You
you
have
have
to.
to. You have to. And
Yeah.
that's the other thing. That's why marriages don't work these days. Is because people don't learn to communicate, and guess what? They're going to hurt your feelings. And you got to
Absolutely.
forgive.
Yeah.
And guess what? You probably hurt their feelings too.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's into this. And so I told him one day, I was like, "Hey, I kind of want to do like this blog." And he's like, What is a blog?"
The blog is so
What?
2013. You know.
I know. And I'm like, well, I wanna like enrich people on health and wellness and how you can do it naturally, and like your family, like
Right.
how you can take care of your family. And I also want it to be somewhat religious, but I don't want to like shove Jesus down people's throat. And I don't mean that insulting to Jesus. Lord, please forgive me. But what I mean is sometimes you got to dangle the worm before you get it to sink.
Sure.
And I want to do that. I want to be that person to share the gospel, but do it in a way that it's not like, oh, she is too much for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, what better way than harvesting the earth? And
Are you kind of sourdough mom
Yeah.
too? Okay, yeah. Like what kind of research, or was it more of a way of life for you? Like was it some stats that hit you that you were like, "Oh crud, this is
Nope.
causing this," or was it like, "I want to live this way of life"? Talk to me how you got into just
Okay.
being super food aware. And then
Okay.
how to shop in America.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? So I had Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed Crohn's disease when I was 18. I was having serious issues. They treated me for Crohn's disease with a drug called Asacol, and I was on 4,700 milligrams a day. It was a class C drug, and I took it with both Elise and Tristan. For 9 years, I was on this
Wow.
drug. And I always said to everybody, hey, if they told me if I could eat a certain way and it would heal it, I would do it. Because this is like seriously terrible for my life. And it sucks. So I went to a doctor, and we'd done some testing, and she goes, you don't have Crohn's disease. And I was like, what? She's like, you have a small intestinal bacteria infection, and you have candida overgrowth. And I was like, I don't even know what you just said, lady, but whatever. And she's like, I want you to stop taking the Asacol. And I was like, I can't, I'm going to die.
Mm,
You know, like I can't.
yeah.
She's
Also,
like,
how long you been taking that?
9 years.
Oh.
9 years with 2 pregnancies. Okay. That was just one
Stressing
of the
out.
drugs I was on.
Yeah.
So I also was on a thyroid medication. I was on Wellbutrin for anxiety and depression, probably some Zoloft at the same time. I mean, if I walked into a room and they threw a drug at me, I would just try it because I just couldn't figure out why I wasn't well. And so I'm like, okay, well, lady, I'm going to give you my chips, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to try this. So I stopped, treated the gut infection, treated the bacterial infection, and I went on a diet. I hate the word diet because that means I'm fat and I need to lose weight. That's the first thing people hear: diet, fat, lose weight.
Yeah,
It
and
was a
removing
lifestyle.
anything tasty. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It was a lifestyle change. And it was called the specific carbohydrate diet. So I could eat carbs, but they had to be whole food carbs, such as apples, oranges, bananas, but they had to be organic is what they would prefer you to eat. And so I did this, and I healed. And I went and I had a colonoscopy, and they said, you don't have Crohn's disease.
Good Lord.
I had it in 2 spots in my colon. And I said, wait, are you shitting me? Like, this has got to be a joke, right?
Yeah.
I healed myself. And now I didn't, because I had to do some nystatin, which was like a pill that I had to take to kill the yeast. And then I had to do some fluconazole, which is like diflucan to kill the gut infection. And one other drug, and it's a really weird one, to kill the SIBO. And I did it, and it worked. And I was like, holy hell, it worked. Oh my God.
I mean, did that make you pretty upset of the previous 9 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So I was pretty upset because I don't know what the ramifications of those drugs are on my children.
Right.
That was
or
my
even the rest of
biggest
your
one.
life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, what did I do to my liver?
Yeah.
What, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so at this point, I was like, time out. I think there's something to food. This is in 2016. So, I mean,
Yeah.
this is like premature
Kinda before the
sourdough.
big, yeah,
This is
yeah.
before it. So I went on this like really big kick and I did it for 4 years and felt amazing. And I was like, okay. 1 year I had eaten chocolate and I felt like I got hit by a train because you opt out of sugar. There's no
Really?
refined sugar at all. You can do
What
honey,
refined sugar, meaning like
Like,
added,
like you can't even do cane sugar. Like it's
so
like
added.
any
But like you can have fruit.
yeah
Okay.
natural sugars
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
have.
We're good.
I think
Okay.
I'm good with maple syrup too.
Yeah.
So I can do that too. And I still to this day I don't do refined sugar because it does something to my gut that I cannot tolerate.
Yeah. When I have a soda, it is game over.
And
Game
so
over.
I believe that your food is your medicine. And it worked for me. Is it going to work for everybody? No. There's
Right.
going to be people on ASIC
Well,
call.
and like modern medicine probably adapted over those 9 years too.
Absolutely it did.
At least you probably don't want to harbor a bunch of bitterness towards that original diagnosis. And all that to say, just around this whole conversation, like for all 20 listeners, like especially like with what we're dealing as family, like we're just learning. I'm not making any medicine statements. I don't know.
Oh yeah, me either.
But I don't see how. And maybe this is a spot of like privilege or luxury for me. I just don't see how cleaning up my diet, like, why not try that?
Because it's hard.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
not
like,
the Amazon effect.
right.
Like you have to go to Columbia
But,
to go
like,
buy
people-
organic produce.
People might hear what you just talked about and get mad at you
Oh, they're going
for
to.
being like anti-science, maybe.
They're going to. And
And for me, I'm just like, why not?
I
be
was
curious?
a science major. I wanted
Yeah.
to be a nurse.
Yeah, but you're not saying what you did is going to work for every single
No,
other person.
and it's not. And you know what? There's some more stuff in there because I can tell that all those symptoms come back the second that my emotional trauma is too deep. You store trauma in your
Absolutely.
gut. You store trauma throughout your body.
Yep.
So yeah, you can do all these things. You can eat healthy. You can be perfectionist, but it's not going to work if you don't have all the dominoes lined up.
Right.
And
Or
so,
if you have like a disease that does not get cured by good food.
yeah, yes,
You know,
that's
we're not saying if you eat perfectly healthy.
just as
there
God
goes
made the
everything.
dandelion, which detoxes the liver, he also made the person who made the drug. So I'm not saying all drugs are bad
No,
because
some good
there is
ones.
a time and a place for all of that.
Yeah.
Do I think that it's overused?
Yeah.
I think that we want a pill to fix everything.
Yeah. Well, so talk to me about this too, because like where are you at on like ibuprofen, Tylenol?
How do you know to bring this up?
I don't. I'm just.
It's kind of creepy. You've said several different things to me, and I'm just like, how do you know this? Okay. So Elise and Tristan, Elise, when she was baby, it was fine. Tristan, I barely ever gave it to him, ever. Eden. And this is where there's the gray area I referred to.
Eden's the
baby.
baby. Okay.
Eden, I have always been the one where it's like if they have a fever, it's because they need to fight off something.
Right.
Fever is a natural body response to fight the invader. Now, everybody in my parent generation is like, give these babies Tylenol.
Yeah.
Okay. Eden had a febrile seizure, and I thought he died.
Oh wow.
And it was a very traumatic event for me. And I had just finished school. We were at an awards assembly, and I thought he was teething because he's cutting his molars. And I was like, yeah, he's got like a 99. It's no big deal. He ate, he went to bed, and I walk in, and he is in the middle of his bed at 2:28 having a febrile seizure. And he's face down, and all I hear is, and I'm like, he's dying. And I grab him up, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Literally, I think I'm saying,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Right.
because I knew this was out of my control. And we call 911, and I'm like, hey, my baby's dying. Like something is wrong with him. And I knew it was a seizure, but I didn't know what to do for a seizure. I was a lifeguard. I should know these things, And so when it's your own kid, you just go into a totally different panic. Well, I didn't recognize I was supposed to roll him on his side. So his tongue was
sure.
rolling in the back
Yep.
of his mouth,
Yep.
and he was unable to breathe. And they're like, you have to start CPR, ma'am. Start
my
CPR.
gosh.
So I'm here trying to do CPR
How
on
old
my
is Eden?
18-month-old at this time. And, I'm telling my husband, like, get him in the car. We're going to the Glasgow Medical Clinic because I
Yeah.
can't do this. So we're driving with this baby who's having this seizure. And we get there and they're like, does he have a fever? And I'm like, I don't know. Why are you asking me that?
Yeah. Right.
And they take it. It's like 103.9.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay. And they said, honey, it's a febrile seizure. I'm like, I want him in the ambulance and I want him at the university ASAP. So they did that. And he came out after 5 minutes. But
That's
Landon,
a long
it was the worst 5 minutes of my life. I thought I'd lost this baby. And so we get him over there and they're like, everything checked out great. They're like, listen, it's normal. This is normal. And I'm like, time out. He is normal to have seizures? And they go, yeah, it happened all the time back in the olden days because they didn't have pain relievers. And I'm like, hello, ibuprofen. You are my new best friend. So anytime Eden has a fever, boy, I am up on that ibuprofen because I cannot
I thought
do
you were
that.
about to say that he took Tylenol or
Nope,
ibuprofen,
he didn't.
and that's why.
He didn't. And that was one of my more natural doctors told me.
What does that word mean?
I don't know.
What's it? How
Wanna
do you
Google
say
that
it?
for me?
Yeah, will you Google that?
Maybe it's febrile seizure. So I will tell you the gist of it. It doesn't have to do with the temperature itself. It has to do with how quickly the temperature rises. So Eden's temperature we went to the doctor the next day. His fever was 100.1 when we walked in. 14 minutes later, the doctor came in, it was 104.7. So he could have immediately went into a seizure. And it's the body's response to shut down the organs so it doesn't damage the organs. What you got for me?
It says a febrile seizure is a convulsion in a child triggered by a fever typically occurring between 6 months and 5 years of age. These seizures are usually caused by a rapid rise in body temperature, often associated with viral or bacterial infections. While alarming to witness, simple febrile seizures are generally harmless and don't cause long-term health problems.
Wow.
But I had no idea. So, I'm like, oh my God,
so the
something's really
drugs
wrong.
help that not rise as
So
rapidly.
yes. So now I don't even care if it's teeth. I'm giving this baby some Tylenol. So yeah, I'm organic. I'm all natural. I just said I cured Crohn's disease. I am telling you, I am all about the ibuprofen for him. Now,
dye-free,
absolutely dye-free.
Yeah.
100% dye-free.
Yeah. How do they get the cherry flavor without the dye is what I'm curious on. But I will say, so we just went through, and we can get back on this, but the month of June, my poor daughter and me got it too, hand, foot, and mouth.
Yes, it's been going around really bad.
It's awful. And I ran out of ibuprofen, but I had the kids' ibuprofen. And by the way, our experience with hand, foot, and mouth, ibuprofen does nothing. And my whole life, ibuprofen is what I take for everything.
Yep,
pretty
me
much.
too. Yep.
Tylenol, lose your. I call those.
I kicked my cup.
Big dumb cups. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You can put it on the table. I don't care. Or even there's a table over here.
Okay.
But. Oh, what was I saying? I always take ibuprofen. Tylenol never did anything for me. But then during this hand, foot, and mouth, Tylenol ibuprofen did nothing for her because I was trying to offset both of them to try to cycle to keep her fever down and all that. So I ran out of ibuprofen, but I tried the kids' ibuprofen because I ran out. It's disgusting. The worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. It was awful. So, but yeah, have you guys gone through hand, foot, mouth stuff?
Yeah,
before?
Eden had hand, foot, and mouth when he was 6 months old. And you know what's really crazy? His was starting as a diaper rash. And I was this is the weirdest, worst diaper rash I'd ever seen in my life. It was
folks,
bloody.
Ellie had it, hand, foot, and mouth. I had it hand, foot, and mouth, head, shoulders, knees, toes.
You had the chicken pox that was head, foot.
But yeah, I was wearing diaper rash cream.
Oh my, isn't that crazy?
Awful.
Oh my goodness.
And luckily my wife was supposed to take both kids up to Minnesota to visit her family, but we saw her she had a fever and she had a spot on her chin, and we didn't know what hand, foot, and mouth was at this point, but I was like, she's sick, I'll stay home with her, you go to Minnesota. So those two dodged it, but I didn't catch it for another 6 days after. So of course she gets good and then it just hits me, and way worse than COVID for me in my experience with COVID, because I had a pretty bad run at COVID. I want the 2 weeks and the flatten the curve and the vaccine for hand, foot, and mouth.
That's funny. That's funny. Dang, I've heard that it's been really bad this summer. I've had a lot of families that I know.
I've heard a ton of that, and then I've also heard that the dads get it way worse because we're not as exposed to the germs as the moms are. Because I think maybe JJ and Annie had it, but super mild. No spots on either one of them, but maybe a little bit of fever and stuff. I'm still peeling. It's been over a month.
Eden's feet peeled too. And I was like, this is so bizarre.
I've heard of people losing toenails and fingernails. And yeah, I think my hands are just now getting there. but my feet are still like
Did it
over a month.
itch?
No.
Did you know you even had it like on your hands and stuff? Like,
So like I knew it was a chance I could get it because I was giving her all the skin treat. Like I was
yeah.
touching Ellie all the time to try to get her manage her pain and all that. And so I knew it was likely that I would get it. I started developing. So the fever was the worst on the first day. So it was a fever first, and that's what she had was a fever first. Worst sore throat of my life. I lost 8 pounds because I just couldn't eat for like 2 days. It's terrible, but it was great. Lost 8
He
pounds.
lost 8 pounds
Lost
in
8
2
pounds,
days.
dude. I can gain and lose like Oprah. Like it's just quick. It is quick. And then like I tried to treat it like I wore socks. Maybe it's crunchy of me, but I had like socks and gloves on. I didn't care. It was just me and my daughter in my
you're
house.
talking to Crunchy, so you're good.
Yeah, whatever. But like, so if you ever have hand, foot, and mouth as an adult, you're gonna prevent the spread of it by not touching other things.
Is this contagious, or is it like your air you're breathing is
it's probably
contagious?
touch, I think is what I read.
Okay.
I only read it on Reddit, so it's legit. But it's really only touch. I don't think it's like an aerial thing. But like, I thought not touching certain parts of like my feet. Like I never touched my feet, and I developed tons of spots on my feet. So it's not like poison ivy where you touch those different parts. It just
so weird.
It's one of the weirdest like things I've ever been through for sure.
That's crazy.
It can, respiratory droplets can also.
Okay. There you go.
In your saliva, I knew
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to Eden's
Yes,
situation.
sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. I wanted to tell you he had something weird too. It was called fifth disease. Have you ever heard of that? Like the number 5, like
Wow.
fifth, and it's also
really
called
creative name.
slap cheek syndrome. Yeah.
This feels like a Gen Z named disease.
I guess
fifth disease
I know,
and
right?
slap.
I know, right? And so I guess it was something that like used to be like kind of common, but they hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
And so his cheeks turned the color of your mic. I mean, they were just like, and I was like, dude, it's because he's running fever. And the doctor's like, honey, does he have, she said a webbing. And I'm like, a webbing?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And you could see like in his, okay, so like your veins and stuff, you could see it was kind of like a blue, it looked like a spider web.
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, he has a webbing. And she's like, he has fifth
That's the same
disease.
doctor who healed you from Crohn's.
Yes, sir. I'll hook you up,
Dude,
but I won't
she
say
seems legit.
I won't say it on here, and I don't want to get criticized. She is the perfect mesh between holistic and pharmaceutical.
Cool.
She is beautiful. She is a beautiful soul. She's a God-loving woman, and I'm telling you, she's where it's at. Yeah.
Boom.
Gotcha.
Worth doing this podcast
Yes,
officially
it
now,
is.
right
See,
there.
God places people right where they need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So slap. What is it?
slap cheek or fifth disease, and he had it for 2 weeks.
Ugh.
It was bad, and he was really, really sick. So the next day, after we take him to the ER, everything gets checked out. They didn't diagnose him, by the way. I had to take him to her, and then she diagnosed him. In their defense, he didn't have any of those symptoms. So they were just like, it's viral.
Yeah.
Well, everything's viral, but whatever. So then the next night, he hit 106.7, guys.
This poor kid is just
106.7.
hot.
I know. I was like, and this is at 2 a.m. And Tim, he is my calm, collected. There might be a fire. We better throw water. Tim is, let the fire burn. I'll throw the water at the right time.
Right.
Tim's running through the house and he's like, I'm calling the ER.
Oh,
I
God.
think we
Yeah.
need to bring the baby in. And my mom's like, so we doubled up Tylenol and ibuprofen and that. And she said, I called her and I said, Mom, I think I need to take him. She said, is he having a seizure? I said, no, he's not having a seizure. She said, is he doing anything weird? I said, no, but it's 106.7. She said, I need you to give the Tylenol 10 more minutes. And this was after an hour.
This is your mother or the
My
doctor?
mom. My mom's like a daycare provider, so
Okay.
she's seen all this weird stuff. She's like, 10 minutes, Amanda. And I'm like, Tim's like, you get the baby, load it in the car.
Yeah.
Like we have everything
It'll take
loaded. We're
about 10
ready to
minutes
go.
in our household. Like,
Yeah,
getting in the car. It's
yes,
10
I know,
minutes
right?
right there.
10 minutes right there. So Tim's loaded the car. He's getting ready to go get the older kids up. We're at a 1 hour. 1 hour, 10 minutes. It's 104.7, 103.9, 102.9. And I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. I'm sitting over here. I am putting hands on this baby. And I'm just like, Jesus, come to us. Come to, like, please help us. And so he ended up fine and everything's great. And I said, so does this mean every time he's sick, he's going to have one of these? And they said, we don't know.
Right.
So you want me to put him back in his bed where I'm pretty sure he would have suffocated and he can have a fever at any time and do that. So that alone has taken a lot of prayer And me to be like, God, I know he needs to be in his bed, and I need you to take this baby from me because this is your baby anyway.
Yep.
This is not my baby. You
Yep.
lent him to me, and I need you to take control.
Yep.
And so I finally, after about 8 weeks, put him back in his bed. And so he slept in his bed last night, everybody.
Hey.
So it's a win. But yeah, the second that he's sick, he ain't sleeping in his bed. That's what I know. And he's getting some ibuprofen ASAP. Maybe even a little milliliter more. It's okay.
Yeah. Is he a big kid?
He is.
Yeah.
He is a hoss,
Those
man.
bigger kids can hang it up.
Yes, he's 90th percentile, looks like a 3.5-year-old, and he's 20 months. And my other son, he's extremely petite, very, very petite. And this boy, I mean, he's got hands that are, he's going to be the one that eats the 4 hams at dinner, and I have to make so many chickens because he's going to eat it. So.
Yeah, Ellie, they would just put greater than 99 on her weight. Hilarious. Just looked like the Michelin kid. Just rolls on rolls. And then my son JJ is like in the upper 80s.
Nice.
But height-wise is like 18. So he just looks like an egg. And he's got no hair. And like he's 9 months old. He has like 10 teeth.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it wouldn't shock you if you started just saying a sentence. You're like,
wow.
It's wild.
That's crazy. Wild. It's so crazy how children develop at different times and their different characteristics. And so Eden's into Blue's Clues. Like,
like throwback?
Like, yes, like throwback. Like Steve Blue's Clues. Can't do the other guy. Yes, OG. And he'll go, I'm like, what does that mean, Eden? Do you want Blue's Clues? And he goes, like, okay. So yeah, I'm like, okay, so we're singing mailbox songs all the time, and I'm like, hey, this is cool. Whatever. Yeah. Throwback. I was a little older than the Blue's Clues, but my sister hit the Blue's Clues era.
Okay, hold on. Is Blue a girl or a boy?
Dude, we just had this conversation. Okay. My consensus is
wrecked
Blue
my world.
Is a girl.
That's what I've been told. I grew up my whole life thinking Blue was a boy and what's her name? Magenta was the girl.
Magenta was the girl. I thought the same thing, but I have even listened to the 6 seasons of this every day of my life. I think she's a girl.
Wow.
I think she is. And so, yeah, that was mind-blowing because we had a long confrontation at a dinner the other night, and everyone's like, no, it's a boy.
Yeah.
I think it's
also,
a girl.
While we're on this subject, Cody, will you look up the original Steve? I think I even talked to somebody recently. Everybody's like he OD'd on drugs and like died. He's totally around.
I heard something totally different. I heard
he's fine.
He's doing podcasts.
Yeah, he's doing great
to help our generation that watched him. In a time of need. Like he came back out during COVID and was like, hey guys, sorry I left you. This was going. And I actually watched.
And he didn't. But I think like the rumor was that he'd left because he was just coked out. And he hopped on this YouTube video and he's like, because he's bald now, right?
Yeah, very bald.
So he hopped on this YouTube video. It's like, guys, I'm fine. But what do you got?
What's funny is we've done this in an episode.
Have we already? Man.
But we didn't go this.
About Blue's Clues?
Apparently. I don't know. I only have 6 episodes and I could not tell you what we talked about. Yes.
It's making a comeback.
So Steve Burns, the original host of Blue's Clues, is launching a new podcast called Alive, which is brilliant, with I think it's Lemonada Media aimed at adults. The podcast set to premiere in the fall of 2025. So yeah, he's
okay. But did Steve leave Blue's Clues to go do drugs?
He said it was to go to college.
That's what I heard in his interview.
To go do drugs.
That was the rumor, is that he got kicked off because he was drugged out.
Okay, I thought you meant like he literally said, hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta do some coke and then I'm not gonna do blues anymore. Because it's not okay for kids to know I'm doing coke.
Okay.
No, Steve Burns, the original host of Blue's Clues, did not leave the show to do drugs. He left primarily because he was going bald and didn't want to lose his hair on a children's
Okay, now
that's funny.
Now I want you to look up, did Steve leave Blue's? Like, I want you to look up, like, I want you to confirm that it was a rumor that he left to do drugs, because I'm pretty sure that's what everybody said.
In this, it says that. So it says rumors of drug use, death, or other negative circumstances were unfounded. He has since pursued a music career in his works. Flaming Lips.
Okay. Either way, like we're cleaning up the rumors right here.
Steve is the bomb.
And Steve, we should do our podcast together.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I think people confuse him with maybe Shia LaBeouf a little bit.
Did Shia LaBeouf?
Oh, they were in the same.
I do love Shia though.
I do too.
He was in that same category.
He went a little rough, didn't he?
Because he was
a little bit.
I mean, you grew up
Holes.
but even Stevens. Did you grow up with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was Shia, right? That was him.
Yeah, that was him.
Stanley Yelnats, and then I think he did fall off the map a little bit, right?
I unfortunately think all of those young They all do. I mean, look at Amanda Bynes. Do you remember Amanda Bynes?
Yeah.
She
Mhm.
went, and I always was like so
Is that
respected
JoJo
to
Siwa? Is that
her.
the same person?
No,
No.
JoJo Siwa's
Yeah.
totally different.
Totally different. All right.
Like 2
sorry,
generations.
I'm from here. I don't know.
different, right?
We did talk about Blue's Clues. Like your guy, is he like did that start around when you guys?
So
That was when I was a
we
kid.
looked this
Yeah.
up, and it was 97,
Yeah.
and I was born in 86.
Yeah. I was born in
11.
'95. So
I was born in 01 and I grew up with Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
too, so-
Okay,
Blue's Clues had a good
What's
run.
the other guy's name?
Joe,
The
the other host.
The other host of Blue's
Joe?
Clues.
Who's the other Blues Clues host? Look it up.
the new guy?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Pretty sure it's Joe.
Something
Nine-
with a J.
90%.
Joshua. Yeah. Yeah. So Tim or Tim. He must be thinking of me. Eden is not much on Joshua. I think it's because Eden doesn't like all the technology of the emails and the cell phones. He likes the regular old mail.
I used to have a Blues Clues, like, it was a coloring book in the shape of a chair that you could, like, erase.
Like the thinking chair?
Yes.
Nice.
That's what we need to get in here. It's the
Dude,
thinking
adults
chair.
need a thinking chair.
Absolutely.
I need that as a mom. Just be like, I need to go to my thinking chair. I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell my kids that today, and they're going to be like, what did Landon give you?
We need like an intercession with like a jingle where it's like, like we just got a letter. But
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can do that for the Ask Landon Anything one that we just got a letter.
You really should.
Yeah, except probably can't copyright that music. But anyway, Steve, we've cleaned up your reputation here for the listeners
Yes.
of Fayette, Missouri, and you should totally come on the podcast.
Agreed.
And maybe just share this clip if you want people to know that you did not just coke out and leave the show.
We're appreciative.
Because that was the rumor. It really was. And I think I remember during COVID, he just one of these really funny YouTube videos where he's like,
I'm
"Nah,
alive.
guys, I'm okay." Just wasn't done.
I was just telling my kids this the other day. I was like, 90% of what you hear is only 10% true. Like, if you think about that, like 90% of things have been skewed and only 10%.
Right.
So if we think about that, I think fear alone can be dwindled a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wait, if only 10% of it is true.
Yeah.
We don't know what 10% is true, but I do believe that.
I just think we need to go outside and touch grass more. Like, just
I'm
to
all about
remember you're
grounding.
alive. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
barefoot, run around. I do that with my kids.
Maybe not that, but like if I'm anxious,
really
I'm not
should.
arguing with you. I'm just saying if I'm anxious, I say go touch grass. Like, just go outside, go touch a tree. Seriously, like if you guys
Yeah,
have
hug a
some
tree.
anxiety, go outside and touch something. Look up, look alive. Because I don't think we realize how just head down into a screen
Yeah.
or into a task that we get into. And you can really just like spiral out. So
Right.
I just went, so I was on that vacation for a bit. And I grew up around here doing Missouri cattle pond fishing. All I did was fish
Okay.
ponds as a kid. And then I haven't fished in a long, long time. But the moment I got back from vacation, I've been fishing a lot lately now.
Good for you.
Getting a little more connected with everything and catching fish. So it's been good. But well, talk to me now. Like, so all the food kind of stuff that you're doing, are you selling food? Are
No.
you selling meal plans? Are you just
I'm
letting
not
people?
selling anything.
What's the farmer's wife?
Okay, yeah, Farmer's Wife, Organic Life. So I think what I originally had envisioned was I would do things like I recommend this, you buy it on Amazon, I get a cut.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't get to that point because I don't know how to do it.
Mm.
And I don't really care to do that. So that's the problem is I don't have the drive to want to learn technology and be behind a computer long enough to try to figure it out. I want somebody to just to do it for me.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's enough people out there that could do it for me.
Yeah.
But I just have to be able to know, like, I have to be able to have the funds to have them start it.
Yeah.
And right now, I've kind of just decided I just want to be present with my kids.
Yeah.
And I started this new brand, and of course I did because I had to set up all my dominoes that fell down and act like I had it together. And
You still I don't, maybe you disagree, but there's still a lot of good in the business mind of you and your motor,
yes.
and still doing that I think is not a terrible thing.
Right. And I don't think it is either. And honestly, if I could do it but have 20 hours at home, I would do it.
Yeah.
But it's like anytime I'm such an overachiever perfectionist, and my husband knows this too, anytime I'm getting ready to start something, he's like, wait, what are you doing? Wait, what? Because I'm going to give it all of me at all times. And so I have to be careful what I allow myself to do. Like, he won't even let me volunteer for things anymore. Like, Tristan had Boy Scouts. He's like, you didn't volunteer, did you? Bible school. He's like, you didn't volunteer, did you? I'm like, I didn't volunteer, Tim. And I get it. And he is not saying that in a way to be critical or to be controlling. He is saying that in protection.
Yeah.
He wants me to make sure that I'm me and that I'm okay and that we can hold our family together, because that's the most important thing. Regardless of all the trauma I talked about today with my dad and my mom and my business and all that stuff, what's the most important thing is what's underneath our house, our roof, and it's my 3 children and my husband.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest gift I've ever been given. And so it's my job to make sure that works, that stays whole, even when my children are my age and they're coming back and saying, Mom, you really messed me up when you grew those onions. It's like, hey, dude, it's okay. We'll peel them back
But, you
too.
know, I bet 10 years after they say that, they're going to be like, I think I want to grow some.
They will, dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Well, we should wrap up soon.
Yes.
But on that note, just kind of to circle back to Fayette a little bit. Do you guys still, you live in Fayette or around
I actually
Fayette?
live in Glasgow.
Okay, so, but near.
Yeah.
Heart for Fayette, or
Yes.
the area at least. Can you, I struggle with, because I know I assume you still have a heart for Fayette. How have you married, because I certainly crave what you're doing, but I also don't want to, and I'm not saying that you did, but I'm trying to walk the line of not just completely abandoning a lot of things that people want me to do in this town. Thinking Chamber of Commerce, thinking businesses and whatnot. Talk to me about how you worked through that. Because I'm not saying you abandoned it, but you certainly disconnected.
Yeah.
How you worked through that, and then also just what Fayette means to you and what you see for it in the future, especially for kids. Or are your kids going to Glasgow or Fayette?
They go to Glasgow.
So
yeah.
even just the town of Glasgow, what you envision for small town life. But talk to me first about just the disconnect, for lack of a better term.
Right. Okay. So first of all, I definitely want to I don't even know if this is necessary, but apologize for literally being, crack monkey Amanda, thinking I had everything under control and I'm going to blow Fayette up with putting it on the map, and we're going to have Paisley days and we're going to have this and we're going to do this. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I was just drop the ball out.
Yeah.
And
that is what it felt like.
It was.
Yeah.
And I feel like I owe an apology to anybody who was associated with my business whatsoever, because the hurt that I felt from some things that had happened here, I felt like I had given everything that I possibly could, and then I was rejected. And I didn't like that feeling. I don't do well with rejection.
Nope.
And that's childhood trauma.
I haven't met anybody who's loves it.
We don't do well with it. But once again, if I can't fix it, I don't want to touch it. And so I couldn't fix it. And I tried everything. And I had done some of the PEO and everything people asked me to do. I said yes. Mine was a yes day for 9 years. And that was the worst thing I could have ever done. So say no. You say no. You set those boundaries. You go home and you go, will this benefit me? I'm not saying your wife. I'm not saying your kids. I'm not saying your business. Will this benefit me? Because if you're grounded in yourself and you're grounded in the Lord, your wife, your kids, they follow. And they're going to go right with you. And so you have to be careful what we put ahead of ourselves to be grounded in, because everybody wants you to be grounded in them. It's Adam and Eve. We were initially created to be this way.
Yeah.
Very individualistic. We have control. We want all the attention on us, selfish people. And so we have to be careful to not let all these people who think their organizations are the greatest, which they could be, but that's just not for me. And so you have to make sure that your brand and your business is you. And any time that you volunteer for something, that's going to take away from your brand and your business. They're going to say it's going to build it, but that's them having a selfish tendency to say that.
Something else. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you just have to stay focused on what you are supposed to be focused on and your family.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have done things differently, but at the same time, it's no, because I got exactly where I was supposed to be, where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. So I'm good with it. So yeah, I don't think any of those things make or break a business. I don't think any of those things are going to make or break you. And I think that if you have the drive, the knowledge, and God is willing to work with you, you're going to do it. And when I say that, it's because Amanda was willing to work for God, but God was not willing to work with what I wanted. And so it was a life-changing moment for me to recognize that, oh, wait, God wasn't in this. It was all me. Yeah. He was in it in lots of places. But there came a part where he goes, hey, girl, I've carried you long enough and I'm going to drop you now. Yeah. And so you don't want to get to there. Yeah. Don't be blindsided by all the wonderful worldly things and then realize that actually, no, that's not how it works. And
It's-
he keeps telling me, like, be still. Be still and know. Be still and know. He says that because, as you can tell, I can't sit still. So I'm like, wait a minute, I got to be still and I got to listen to you.
Yeah.
You know?
That was my, I usually have like a theme phrase or word every year that I start with. And this year is supposed to be quiet as I launch a podcast where I talk. But it was be quiet.
Well,
you
I'm sure you didn't talk much today because I talked a lot. Sorry. But yeah.
Raising your kids in small town.
Yeah.
Is that where you want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I was a big city girl. And then
yeah.
I was like, this isn't for me.
Did you ever live in a big city?
I lived in Columbia. It was big enough. Big enough for me.
cool.
I wanted to live in St. Louis.
I lived in Minneapolis. It was
You
good
were a
for me.
big city.
Yeah, it was a big old city. Chick-fil-A's everywhere.
That was the hardest thing, going for things
giving up
open
Chick-fil-A?
24 hours a day
Oh, sure.
to things not open on Saturday
Have
or
you-
Sunday and
Have
Monday.
you given up like Chick-fil-A too on your?
Yeah, it is nice because in Glasgow we don't have fast food.
That's true.
So you eat healthy.
Is there anything outside of the home that you will eat fast food?
Yeah, Chipotle.
Okay,
Chipotle is really good. And
Yeah.
if you look at their ingredients, they are whole ingredients.
Well, I had a buddy who worked there, and there's some of that like Pancheros versus Chipotle.
Yeah,
and
no.
he's just staunchly like, no, I worked at a Chipotle. I know how fresh everything is. I know how it's
Chipotle.
made. I'll risk the listeria from the lettuce, but it's really really good. So
Yeah.
I had Chipotle the other night. It was good, and their
Now,
forks are amazing.
The kids totally do Chick-fil-A too. They really love
It's the Lord's
Chick-fil-A.
chicken.
Yeah, I know. They
Christian
love it.
chicken.
It is Christian
It's Christian
chicken.
chicken.
So yeah, I'm
Can
good
you
with that.
imagine launch like I think I talked about this on another podcast, but their slogan. Do you know what their slogan is? They have like two, but like the one that's on every road sign. Closed Sunday.
Really?
Oh yeah, if you look at like the highway signs that have like food coming up this exit, it says Chick-fil-A closed Sunday. Like imagine running a business where you are known for the day that you're closed. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's incredible.
And what an attribute that company has to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am serving you.
I don't know how
I don't know.
hard they've stuck to some of their values. I really don't, because remember,
Yeah.
like it feels like just a fever dream of like COVID and everybody getting canceled.
I know.
But that either way, it still has. What I love is, and I hope they continue the service level, the My Pleasure service level
Uh-huh.
of it. I actually recently got rear-ended in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru in my car with my face on it. Can you imagine rear-ending the insurance car with my face on it? Yeah, it was a bummer. But the girl who was there, and she may be 16, 17,
Oh.
handled it so good. Like, and I'm like,
Aw.
nobody trained you for that. But she was like, stop moving. Like she just like controlled the situation.
Oh, the Chick-fil-A worker.
Yeah, and I'm so
Okay.
proud. I was so proud of her because so this lady, her foot fell asleep as she came through the drive-thru. So she
Oh,
hit me
no.
pretty hard.
Yeah.
But also like, kind of when you're driving in big traffic, you're expecting, you're kind of more
Yeah.
cautious. I'm sitting here thinking about how I'm about to put Chick-fil-A in my mouth, like just not even, just chilling, and then pop, just get hit from the back, and I'm kind of like a little like shaken up by it. And so she handled the situation. All that to say, wow, rabbit trail. You used to run a business in Fayette. Really excited for Lafayette to come back.
Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Me too.
Oh, girl, yeah.
Yeah, me too. No, for real. I'm like, when can reservations start?
Yes, yeah, I'm super
me on
excited
once a
for
week.
that. I'm trying to get them on soon, just to talk Matt
Yeah.
and Brandy about
Mhm.
it. But when you think about like the future of Fayette, are you encouraged? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see
Ooh.
less of? What are some of your thoughts there, if you have any?
I don't know if you want me to answer this.
Well, I do, but it's up to you. Cameras are
Okay.
on, so we're live.
I believe Fayette is a very old town set in old ways. We are very new technology, new, everything's new, and they can't adjust to that. And
do you mean?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Like, okay,
Well, we don't have like stoplights, so
like
that's
the-
not what you're talking
no, that's not what I'm talking about. Like the college is what is driving this town, and that's not like obscene to
that
say.
should not be a hot
Everybody
topic. Yeah.
knows that.
We would not look like this town without them.
Yeah, like I mean, the amount of seeing sales from Paisley, like June and July,
Mhm.
we're talking thousands of dollars of difference. I think what happened with COVID is everybody like introverted themselves, and so
Yeah.
they didn't walk around anymore. They didn't do anything. I wouldn't see college kids anymore. Like after school was in session, and I'm like, what is going on? I don't think that people socialize and they don't get out and they don't do things. I don't even know what they do for fun here, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea what people come to school here for. Because, in Columbia, you got all these things to do, but they don't even do that anymore. So like what they did back in 2010 when I graduated college is not what they do. So I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know what people are doing for fun these days other than TikTok.
Sure.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I'm going back to something that you said about how proud you were of the girl in Chick-fil-A. I think that a way to spread our light is to awkwardly tell people how proud we are of them whenever other people wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like I saw a lady sitting at the winery and it was in Rocheport. And I was like, this is so weird. Can I have your phone? I need to take a picture of you right now. And she's like, what? And she's over here journaling and you can see she is so in depth. I said, I need to take a picture of you so you can see the beauty I see in you because I don't know what you're struggling with or what you're writing about, but you need to have this picture for yourself to go back to and recognize where you were at this point. Yeah. And I think that it's important for us to show even younger children or 16-year-olds, 12-year-olds, thanks for opening that door.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, that is so good for you to do. Like they don't understand what praise is because their cell phone is what's doing that to them.
Yeah, it's the only thing they can hear.
That's the only thing they
you'll
hear.
be proud of me. I did call the Chick-fil-A after all that mess, and I said, hey, I wanted to say I was really proud of her. And yeah, I think that's I make it a big point. Like, and even young kids, I call them sir. I treat them with respect
and shake hands.
Yeah, and kind of back to like some of our connectedness. I think maybe growing up, I've always been friends with my older brother's friends. I never really got along super great with my own age group, but just always just that level of respect. And I have never felt a level of seniority over anybody. Like I don't. I hope that the way I lead around here is not like, well, I'm older than you, so listen.
Right. And I never felt like I did that either or felt like I was better than anybody. Shoot, I was in there scrubbing the toilet just like my girls were.
Yeah.
That's just.
And I think I also had part of that's probably some really good teachers that I had too that never said, you listen to me because I've said so. You listen to me because I'm going to school you right now.
Yeah.
And then they would, But,
right.
Yeah. I remember I was at a like a premarital conference with Annie, and somebody did the same thing that you did, where they said, "Can we have your phone? I want to take a picture of this so you can look back at this when you're married." And Annie, I'll celebrate 5 years, I think next Thursday.
Yay!
Which is crazy.
Wait, ours is next Saturday. Ours is the
really?
24th. Yours is the 22nd.
26th.
Okay.
I think.
So yeah, wait. Ours
We got married during COVID. It was a blast.
Oh.
Yeah. So
How many times did you cancel the wedding?
we moved it once.
Okay.
Had to uninvite everybody. It was silly. But we were up in Minnesota with Emperor Walls. And that was when we went from, our wedding was supposed to be June 13th, which I think might have been a Friday the 13th. Superstition doesn't mess with me. I'm a Christian. I got Jesus on my side. What are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah. But the day we send out the uninvites is the day that, we had to.
You sent out uninvites.
We had to because we had invited everybody.
Right.
And then we were still only allowed to have 2 people, in a house.
Yeah.
2 to 4, whatever, unless you were at Target or rioting in Minneapolis. So the next day that we sent out the uninvites, he opens it up from 2 to 250. But we had already sent the uninvites. So we moved the wedding. We got married in her uncle's backyard. About 75 people. And a third of that was just our wedding party. We had 20.
Right.
We had 20 people on our wedding party.
My
It was
gosh.
super fun. I was like, I got to have all my friends, all my brothers in here. Yeah, it was super good. But no, I think you have definitely shown your light here today, which is fun. I haven't seen you in so long. It's
I
so good
know.
to
I
see
haven't
you.
either. And I really wish that, you could have been at the light of my Paisley days because we
I
could
know, I
have
was
been
gone.
a rock, dude.
Hey, well, we can still do something. If you bring me some sourdough occasionally, that'll,
I make
that'll
some
be
sourdough
good.
cinnamon rolls that are on point. Oh, yeah. So you said something about the health thing. I'm really good at improvising. I'll look at a recipe and I'll be like, oh, if I use tiger nut flour, that's a whole nother
How are you
topic.
doing cinnamon rolls without added sugar, though?
Maple syrup.
Is it still good, though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well,
I'll
and
have
I
to
use
try
cane
these.
sugar. I'm not going to lie. I use real organic cane sugar.
Yeah, I bought some
you
of that
have
recently.
To. It's good for you.
It tastes a little different when I drizzle it on my
It is good for
cereal, but it's...
Yeah.
Is it good for you or just not as bad for you?
So here... Man, here we go.
Here we go. Hour number 3.
Another hour number 3. Okay, so your liver actually breaks sugar down for you, and that is what. Well, that's how you get fatty liver is when it doesn't, and so it breaks it down, and that's how you get energy. That's how you create any kind of new cell structure. That's how you get well. And so when people go on like these crazy crash diets where there's no sugar,
You can't even have fruit.
you can't
That's
have fruit.
crazy.
It's not
Crazy.
good for
You need glucose.
Yes. Now, when I was killing candida, I did that.
Yeah.
There's no sugar. And you can do it for a while.
Right.
What I'm telling you is if you want to remake ATP in your body and you want to be able to have energy and you want to restore your cells, you have to have sugar.
Yep.
So I'm not saying go out and get.
Henry's Hometown ice cream.
That's okay sometimes.
It's
We
okay
just did it the other day. I bribed my
you?
kids. We cleaned out our storage shed and I was like, I'll take you to Henry's.
One
And
of
they're
our
like,
secrets
okay.
is a lot of our recipes have brown sugar.
Nice.
I don't know if that's any better than. I don't think it is. It's just not white sugar.
So
which
I
seems to
make
be the
brown
devil.
sugar. I use cane sugar and maple syrup, and you stir it up, and it's a healthy
Wow.
one. It's
Really?
good. I'll make you cinnamon rolls. I'll make them. I don't know when because I got a lot going on this next week, but I'm gonna bring them, and you guys are gonna be like, oh my gosh! And we also use
And they'll be healthy, so we can eat a bunch of them.
well. They are healthy, but I have to use powdered sugar for the topping because I haven't figured that out yet. So it's not going to be completely healthy. And I use organic unbleached flour without folic acid because folic acid's actually toxic to us. And all regular enriched flour has folic acid. I know. Anyway, yeah, that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother day.
Yeah, we can talk about gut health at some point. But
I would love to talk about health.
I appreciate you shining your
Yes,
light. It's
thank
been
you,
good.
Landon. I appreciate
anything else you want everyone to hear before you go? I mean, you've said some great things.
I kind of feel like Steve right now. You know, like Steve like opted out after 6 seasons of Blues Clues, and
did
then
you
he
like
came
coke
on
out
and-
for a couple of years and leave?
I totally did, guys. No, like I hit rock bottom. I'm not
Sure.
gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I want to tell everybody, like, thank you all for your business. Thank you for letting me achieve a dream of mine that went way further than I ever thought I could ever do, and the fact that I did it. I did that,
Yep.
and I owned it, and I'm proud of it. But I'm also proud of letting it go.
Yep.
And I'm okay to be somebody else. And who knows, one day maybe I'll do it again. I don't know. But thank you all for being by my side during all the crazy hard stuff and all the great stuff. Thank you for letting me in on all your sentimental things that you did, funerals, weddings. That to me was such an honor to share that with you and be a part of your emotion, your heart emotion, and sit with you and comfort you. And that to me was me being able to be a disciple. And I appreciate those times. And thank you very much for taking a chance on me today and
That's good.
letting me share that.
That's good. That's a good wrap.
Yeah.
Outro
Yeah.
music.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I did that at the end, so.